Get the club to pop when I come up with the crop. Gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with everybody. We do it. Everybody. We do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Club spot, get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up.
Showed him, I showed him.
Where else is it this live in the fucking morning? You tell me. Or the early afternoon. I'll wait. That's right. Nowhere. You're tapping into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. I'm your boy, MJ. Welcome to Trap Talk with MJ's podcast. Before we get started, this is your first time tuning in on this beautiful Monday morning. Or Monday, goddamn, I'm ripped. Saturday morning. Hit that subscription button, man. Subscribe, like, dislike, leave a comment. Give the guests some feedback. Give me some feedback. Let me know how you're liking the shows. Let me know how you're liking the guests. It means a lot, man. Shout out to all the trappers, man. Look, you guys make me blush, man. Every single time. Early birds, especially on a Saturday morning, right? You know, I know a lot of you guys like to sleep in. A lot of you guys don't like to do shit on a Saturday because you guys, probably work hard as fuck during the week. So respect. But then again, you got people who don't care about fucking sleep, rest, all that shit. They're here bright and early, and I appreciate you, all you early birds. I'm gonna get to you guys in just a second, but you know the real deal. Oh, hold on, guys. Before we get started, US ARC, please support US ARC. US ARC needs us, and we need them more importantly. Link in the description below. Support US ARC. Shout out to the sponsors, Cold Blooded Cafe, the bestest and freshest delivered to your doorstep. www.coldbloodedcafe.com. $30 flat rate shipping, professionally packaged by my homies, Desiree and Steven and the whole team at Cold Blooded Cafe. Shout out to the team over at Sim Containers. Sim Containers, super legit. I've been saying this for a long time now, and glad a lot of you guys are starting to listen. Seen a lot of stories of people getting their Sim Containers, and I see how stoked you are, but wait until you actually put eggs in that motherfucker. Then you're really going to be stoked, and you're going to just realize how perfectly they hatch. Like, it's, man, I'm telling you, man. Peace of mind is everything, especially in this game, because a lot of people don't make in this shit can't get a peace of mind. Just saying, if you can't peace the mind, you ain't fine, and you're gonna end up somewhere else collecting rocks, playing chess. I don't know. No disrespect to the chess players. That shit's a heavy game. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats. Future of enclosures are here. Make sure you get on top of that, man. You guys already know how hard it is to get enclosures. Well, guess what? Focus Cube is this shit. PVC built enclosures, very durable, very light to move. I mean, they have everything for, they have styles of enclosures for every type of species, which is sick. So yeah, check them out, man. Shout out to Steven and Ashley, flexing Texas, man, all day, every day. Shout out to Freedom Breeder, stainless steel racks, professional breeder racks right here, right? So if you're talking about that breeder type level of keeping and whatnot, man, you can't go wrong with Freedom Breeder. I'm telling you right now, that's I mean, the proof is in the name, Freedom Breeder. Freedom Breeder is the shizzle. So shout out to Jesse, man. Shout out to the whole entire Freedom Breeder crew for just, leading the industry when it comes to stainless steel racks, man. And all that, man. Someday Freedom Breeder will be all up in the trap day by day. And then, of course, man, shout out to the fucking big homie, the one who inspires many, Miguel Garcia, always evolving pythons. I'm telling you right now, this guy has so much stuff in the works. And, it's funny is like, his potential of peaking is, I can't even tell you when that's going to happen because I just know this dude has so many things up his sleeves. And I'm not talking about his tattoo sleeves. I'm talking about the Gucci long sleeves that he has in his closet. He has some sick ass shit tucked away. And I'm not talking about designer shoes. I know I keep going there, but I'm just saying, you got to go follow the homie Miguel Garcia because I'm telling you right now, the dude's fucking inspiring. And if you're that type of person who gets really fired up off people who are doing really good with what they have, there you go. Go follow Miguel Garcia. Always evolving pythons, man. Big homie stuff. Talk about big homie stuff. What up with all the early birds, man? You guys are here on a Saturday morning, fucking just bigging it with me and the homie Antoine. We're going to get to the homie Antoine in just a second. Super stoked. I want to say what up to the homie Jerome. No Limit Royals. Dog, I wore your shirt like 2 episodes ago. I didn't get no love. You didn't even hit me up and say, hey, man, thanks for wearing your shirt. I'm just kidding, bro. Your shirt's sick as fuck. So shout out to the homie Jerome. Bond by Pythons. What is good? Bond by Pythons. Thanks for being here. KMB. Oh, you're not even here. So later. I'm just kidding. Railway City Reptiles. What is good? The big homie Mike over at 1776 Exotics. How's it being 21, bro? How you liking it, man? Guy just turned 21 not too long ago. He's living life. About to get a mad snakes off me. I can't wait. Shout out to me, Mike, Patreon member. And then Norway in the building. What's going on? It's Norsk Reptile Room, NRR Norway. What's cracking, man? I'm glad you're here. I always love when fucking Norway's here. Really, really gets me amped up. I'm gonna give you a bomb ass show today, dude. So don't even worry about it. Mindy, what's up, Mindy? Trap Soldier right here up in the building. Hope you're doing good, Mindy. Octavio Garcia, what is cracking, Octavio? Hope you're ready for this Sunday's Trap Talk Patreon page, man. Oh, by the way, guys, if you want to support this channel further than a subscription or a like or a comment, go down to the link below, man. We have fucking Trap Patreon sessions every Sunday, okay? So every Sunday, I'm giving my trap people the inside scoop on things, and then we're also learning about a bunch of stuff, man. You never know what you're going to learn at the Trap University. So if you do want to hop on board, man, we're always accepting fucking family members and students and all sorts of shit. Whatever it is that your goal is, come see what the Trap Patreon's all about. You won't be disappointed, man. So shouts on my Patreon members. I love you guys, man. Scales, fins, and feathers. What is cracking? Saturday go time. You already know what the hell is cracking with that. H&H Pythons. How are you doing, H&H? Another Norway homie. OM Reptile Norway. That's my favorite Norwegian. Damn it. That's my homie right there. Shout out to Norway up in the building. PD's Reptiles, what is cracking? Runya Reptiles, what is cracking? Metal Scales Reptiles, what is good? I can't pass on the homie Tucker. What's up to the homie Tucker? Patreon soldier right there. Another Patreon fucking soldier. Big supporter right here. The homie Andrew, Redwood Reptiles LLC. If you're not following Andrew, then you're just fucking hating. I mean, whatever. This fool's a shit. Andrew's a shit. Very positive, and he has a future in this industry. His future's already here. He's just fucking growing. So shout out to homie Andrew, man. I love you, dog. Thanks for supporting the trap. Really means a lot. All right, Nomad Reptiles, Pez Pythons. You guys are all here, man. I appreciate you. Now, Saturday, let's get this shit cracking, okay? I am so excited about tonight or this morning's guest because, like I said, I have a connection with this guy other than the reptiles. He knows a good, I would say like my brother. Like he knows a brother, somebody who's like a brother to me, somebody I've been friends with since I was like 5 years old. Okay, maybe not that early, but we were pretty young, played Little League together and stuff like that. So I've always looked up to this guy, and he's homies with Antoine, and that was the first connection. And then after meeting Antoine, he came down to the trap, which a lot of you guys know I don't let people come to the trap. So Antoine came, brought a homie. I met him, and I was like, dog, this fool's money. You know what I mean? Down to earth, cool as fuck. You know what I mean? And he's funny as shit. There he is. Yeah. It's the trap. Yeah, what up? That was probably the hardest. Any guess? That was, bro. It's a trap. That was hard, bro. That was hard.
Hey, we're not fucking around this morning, man. Like I'm not here to be the big. Oh, look at the jolly fucking snake guy. Nah, we're gonna have a good fucking time. We're gonna talk about everything you want to talk about. I'm an open book, bro. We're gonna have a good time today, man. It's the fucking trap. I've been waiting to do this for a long time. I'm gonna take advantage of this shit. So let's fucking go.
Let's go. I'm gonna put my stunner shades on for this episode. I'm not fucking around. So Antoine Hood up in the building, man. Man, Antoine, how are you doing, man? Let's tell the people first how you're doing.
Oh, I'm cooling, man. Just making sure. I'm glad I'm alive this morning. You know, I got my second little COVID shot. So, you know, if you listen to all the conspiracy websites and shit, people dying on this and all that. So, but you know, other than the little soreness though, like I'm good, man. So, you know, and I know a lot of people rolling their eyes right now. They're like, "Oh my God, you're fucking cheap and you got the vaccine." Look, dude, I'm trying to fucking travel this country as soon as possible to come hang out with you motherfuckers. So whatever I gotta do to get this shit done, bro, let's go.
Yeah. And what's crazy, Antoine, okay, so my grandma and grandpa got it right, and they were fine. Like, and I was like, all right, cool, they're good. But then I had another homie of mine who's like, you know, younger, like our age, right? He took it, and he's like, man, that thing fucked me up. And he's telling me how he was worried about taking the second round, and I'm like, that's the first time hearing that it fucked somebody up. But then you just told me that your first round made half your face fucking paralyzed or some shit.
That shit beat the hell out of me for like 3 or 4 days, man. But I don't know, you know, so I'm good though. I felt like I had the flu and shit for a little bit. I had like no breathing problems, nothing like that. I didn't feel like I was going to die, but I did feel like I got my ass kicked, and it's been a long time since I got my ass kicked. So, like,
that just won't happen.
It's been a nice little minute though, but I mean,
right.
You know, so I mean that's not something I'm not saying, you know, go get the shot and shit like that. It's a personal decision or whatever, and we'll see what happens, man. You know, but. Yeah, man, but you know, fuck all that though. Like we good right here. We here now. We made it to the trap. So that's all I care about is that I made it to this shit this morning. So let's go.
All right, Antoine. So for the one thing I'm really looking forward to learning about you is the previous high desert pythons, because you were collecting snakes before you have the social media platform, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to that if you don't mind, and kind of tell people what your involvement was from the beginning, and give us the years if you don't mind. That way, I don't have to react.
So a lot of people don't know. I'm from New Jersey originally. I was born in Newark, New Jersey, car thief capital of the world at one time. If you haven't seen the movie New Jersey Drive, that was me. You know, so so grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and it was always like abandoned parking lots, like in abandoned buildings next to the houses. So we used to just go out there as kids, man, and pull up like old logs and rocks, and we find like northern brown snakes and like the red salamanders or whatever. So and a lot of people, kids growing up, their parents always tell you, hey, you know what? You should be scared of snakes. They all venomous and they'll do shit. It's the devil and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like black grandmas always be like, oh my God, look at that snake. It's the devil and all that shit too. So I mean, I never really paid attention to that because I was a nerd as a kid, always in the books and shit, always at the library and all that. So, but even back then, man, I was hustling then. I used to have like these like big glass tanks in the basement. I used to have like the little leather fanny packs where I was grabbing up snakes and shit and selling them for $2 to people and shit like that.
That's gangster.
So, yeah, fucking shout out to the fanny packs and shit, man. So, but yeah, I used to do all that. And then, and that's just something I always loved animals, bro. Like I used to have like chameleons as a kid. There was like Carolina anoles and shit like that too.
Right.
And just getting past all of that, just being a real like learned person. Like as a kid, I always wanted to work with animals. Like I always wanted to do 2 things as a child: have my own martial arts gym and have a pet store. So so no pet store would ever hire me when I was growing up. So I was like, you know what, I'm just make my own. So here we are now. But so back to that. I didn't even know there's a such thing as a ball python until like 2004. How crazy is that? Never even heard of it. I knew what boas were. I seen carpet pythons, berms, retics, and things like that, like anacondas. But no, just some of the smaller pythons. I never really heard of like bloods and things like angolas and shit like that too, right? Yeah. So when I was active duty in the Marine Corps, I had a buddy who was getting a bags inspection, and he called me up. He was like, hey, Corporal Hood, he was like, I got a snake in my bags room, and we about to do a junk on a bunk inspection. What that means for everybody is they check everything: your uniform, your room, your wall locker, and all that shit. So if they catch that shit, that's your ass. So he let me get the snake, man, and he never asked for it back. So I had this. Even back then, think about 16 years ago, man, a normal ball python is a dope looking animal, and they come in like so many different like patterns and banding and shit like that too. So I had this thing in this little small ass tank, didn't know what to do with it. So I did a bunch of research, man, and I kept that, and I had it for about 4 or 5 years. until you know, I ended up like killing her by accident. I like greenhoused her tank when I moved houses because the sun got to the other side of the house and like fried her and shit like that. So, and I think that was the last time I ever owned a tank for anything.
Right.
So then that's when I learned about tubs and racks and shit like that. So I mean, yeah. So that's just how, you know, how I started, man. Always been an animal lover. Always been doing martial arts. You know, always been like dealing with firearms for the military. And I always thought that if I'm gonna keep doing something like especially something that you love, man, you might as well get paid for it. You know, like, you know, everybody like quotes the whole Joker thing. If you're good at something, don't do it for free. You know what I mean? Like all that shit. So you know, that's how it was, you know. So I politic everything, all of my hobbies, man, everything I love to do, everything I spend time on, I'm gonna somehow find a way to monetize it. And I think everybody should do that, you know. So, you know, you got a lot of detractors like, no, can't we just do it for fun? Yeah, but you can have fun making money too, bitch. So like, stop doing that, you know. So
you can have fun being good at something,
you know what I mean,
and working towards that, you know, like but that's why it's but to each their own, right? Like I think Levant's one thing that Levant said on this show that always sticks out to me, which a lot of people know this metaphor, but it's like, you know, that elevator that goes up and people get off, and like me with anything that I do, my elevator just has no limit. I want to be the best at what I do, but I also have fun doing it.
Right. And I used to get offended a lot of times too when you know, when people used to like, oh, you're more of a hustler than a businessman. Like a lot of people, like a lot of my peers, and like every little niche that I do, whether it's mixed martial arts, whether it was breeding dogs back in the day and stuff like that too. Like people always was like, well, like always just told me I was a hustler. And then like I always used to think that had a negative connotation because they would say that because I'm black and shit, you know. So a lot of times like it would like, you know, have me feel a way about it. But then I realized that, you know, looking at the numbers and looking at what I'm doing, all those people who hit me with that that moniker or whatever, I was doing better than. And it's always like that, right? You know, it's like it's never the people who like, you know, who were started before you, who were quote unquote ahead of you, whatever like that. You would never see.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You would never see those guys punching down like at all. You know, it's always the guys that see you as a threat that always got something to say. So, I mean, even from the beginning with everything I'm involved in currently, especially like with the pandemic and shit like that, and trying to make sure, you know, bills get paid, man, that's just the mind I always had. So, and this is just my second time around with the snakes. I took a break when I opened up the gym, Flawless Victory MMA, back in 2013. I stopped. And it was around the same time as you know, I sold a bunch of my snakes off because I was in a desert project in 2012.
Right.
So, yeah. So and at that point that was gonna be like my stable morph, you know, because I had it going into like almost every recessive at the time and like codom shit, and just like I was like that following year it was gonna be it. So I had a bunch of females between 1,000 and 1,300 grams ready to go that following season. And, you know, we know about the desert gene and shit like that, which was crazy. Before that, I was successful with the GHI gene. So a lot of people don't know that's how I got all the money to fund my projects, because when the GHI I got into the GHI when a male was $10,000, $12,000, something like that. So I found a guy, and it was like the second generation GHI male who was having money problems and stuff like that. And he was like, you know what, bro, give me $4,000. I'll get it. I was like, word. So my boy went into that, tapped into that 401k. Snatch that $4,000 out of there. You know what I mean? Pay for that thing. And that same year, man, that following fall, he bred out the ass, man. Like he went to everything. He went to every normal, Mojave, like every combo we had, whatever too. So I turned $4,000 into 50,000, like just like that, you know. So and once you got it, like once you know that you can make a move like that, you ain't gonna look to go anywhere else ever again. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And now you're working for yourself, basically. You know what I mean. So, man, respect.
And then, but just to let everybody know in the comments though, like some of the newer people, like that was best case scenario.
Right.
You know? So that was very best case scenario. That was everything aligned the way it wanted to. Like I had like 85-90% success rate with pairing him with females, and he stayed eating the whole time. Like it was like the perfect situation, the perfect scenario, because at that time I was completely dialed in with my collection. And that's gonna come over time and experience and trial and error and fucking up, you know. So
Right.
I mean that's just how it goes. But then a season and a half later, when I took that money, invested into the desert program, because it was a codom animal. So it's something you can make, like, you don't have to take 3-4 generations to put it together with stuff,
Right.
So so that's how I did it. And then that project happened, and it turned out to be a dud. And out of the I took the entire like almost 50K and just picked that on the desert gene, the entire thing, which I should have took a lot of it, invested it, and did things like that. But I believed in it so much, Like the first time I saw a tiger, which was an inchy desert, I was like, okay, we doing it right now.
Yeah. So, it's funny you brought that up, because I was just talking to the homie Brandon Osborne. Check out that episode, by the way. It's really good. But Osborne,
I thought it was dope.
Yeah, man. So, I don't, a lot of, I don't want to say mistakes, but, opportunities that people find that they have is not spreading out their projects. You know what I mean? They shoot for the moon, which is great, but for only like a handful of snakes. When really, if you're smart, you can invest in different snakes, which will get you to that project. But like build. Like, you ever see a motherfucker who ain't never squat in their life before, and they go, hey, throw 3 plates on there, I'm good, or and they just get demolished, and it's like, like I worked at a gym, so I've seen this shit, and it's like people fucking almost kill themselves. Or,
exactly.
Or ignorant person who's never used a gun before, man. You guns. I mean, how many horror type movie shit have you seen that people think they know what they're doing, but they don't, and something terrible has happened? Yeah,
we gonna get into that in a second too. I got some crazy ass stories. Shit too.
Roger's gonna get intense.
Yes, these are animals. Yes, these are like the fact that you even got to start with these fucking caveats and these little prefaces before I say shit, to me is wild. But the time we live in. So yes, they're living things and we should take care. Yes, I care for my animals and shit like that too. But when you run into business, you need to treat them almost like stocks and bonds and commodities and things like that, where you have to diversify your stuff. Like if you have a stock portfolio, I know a lot of people here I talk to that's in stocks. They don't just have like cryptocurrency and that's it. They got a little bit of everything. Technology, they got tech, they got like biochemical technology, things like that. So like now it went from back then where I like maybe 2 genes. I was like, I like pine stuff and like desert ghosts. But now I got pretty much every recessive minus monsoon I think I have in my collection, pretty much, or at least het for every recessive in my collection. So I got 1,000,001 ways to do things, and that's how it should be too. Obviously it's everything that I like, but first and foremost, because I refuse to have anything in my rack that I don't want to look at, especially if I'm paying like top dollar for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I'm not paying $10,000 for an animal that I don't never want to open the rack and like play with. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm glad I had that in me right away, where I would look at a snake, and yeah, it's a set price for that amount.
Yep.
I okay, if you look deep into why something's priced, okay, it should make sense, right? But if I don't feel it, if it's not hitting my eyes, if it's not like, then I'm not gonna give you 5-10 grand. Like, I don't give a fuck. It better slap me in the face and be like, yo, this is it. You know what I mean? But a lot of people just chase someone else's dreams, and it's like, bro, just stay in your, like, find out what you want. You know what I mean? This is your focus here. Like your desert stuff, which wait, hold on, desert DG. Well, I'm sorry.
It was desert.
Which what happened with that? At what point were you like, God damn it, we can't produce?
So I heard like people maybe like in passing, like in forums, because back before pre-Facebook, you had like ballpythons.net, Bush League ball pythons, king snake forums, and fauna classifieds. That's it. That's all you had. So like in the forums is the place where if you're in there, for some reason you already had to have your shit together, which was weird. Like you ask a question like, hey, blah, blah, blah. If I live here, what's my ideal temperatures? They be like, you fucking rookie, get out of here. Blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, everybody, come in the comments. Look at this guy who doesn't know how his humidity should be. Make sure you write his name down and never buy from him ever, because he can never learn and get better. So that's how the shit was back then, bro. Like, it was so fucking grimy. You're like, man, like it's ridiculous. So anyway, so you see little stuff about, they ain't gonna do nothing no way. You know, it's just like caramel females where they have like fertility problems and shit like that. It was so but then Justin Kubelka made an article in his blog called the Ball Street Journal. And I don't know if he's still active with it now, but that's something he would post on his website a lot, where he actually, you know, didn't want to deal with the noise anymore or have like all these rumors and he said, she said stuff. So he did experiments himself and actually presented concrete evidence of what happened with his snakes, which is what you're supposed to do, you know, because, you know, like you're supposed to show, okay, this is what happened. It's not like, oh, I heard a guy that did this and said that, and this is what happened. No, like I'm looking at firsthand evidence right now. And once that came about, you know, the value of them went to shit. So a lot of people were just selling it. Like you sell a female now, you have to put pet quality, don't breed it, explain to them why you can't. But the males, people like, I know people who still have desert males, you know what I mean? And they're good looking snakes, but nobody's really checking to reproduce them at all, you know?
I couldn't believe it when I heard that. Honestly, that was another thing where I was like, that's fucking annoying. Like, here we go. Like I started taking lists of why maybe I shouldn't breed ball pythons. When the desert thing hit, I was like, so this morph you can't get. Okay, that's weird. And then it led to like fucking, you know, how morphs just come out of the fucking goddamn woodworks. Like, I never heard of a super panther. You know, shout out to Brandon. He was talking about super panthers, sandblast, and I was like, what? And I was like, you know, and it's impressive, but it's so much to me. Like, it makes my head hurt because, like, you know, I'm somebody who wants to get his hands in everything, but it's impossible to do in ball pythons, bro. Like
it is, bro. You
gotta be straight. You just gotta go with your gut, go with your heart, and stick with it. And that's why what I have, you know, like I said, I'll add certain things that I need here and there. But my projects for my balls are just are set. Like they're good. I don't have, you know, I'm happy. I'm content, you know. But like, you know, when I hear shit about the sandblast, it's like, oh my god, here we go. What is this? And it was sick as fuck, you know. I didn't get to look at the super panther, but I don't know, man. It's just crazy. So anyway, the desert project, right? After that happened, did you get out for a little bit, or what happened?
Yeah, so once that happened, I was getting ready to do my the gym, because when I first moved here, I moved to California in 2010. And I was just teaching like you know, kickboxing and stuff and like basic karate at a friend's gym out here, whatever, just kind of kill a time. It's really nothing to do in the desert. So when you first get here, just trying to find your way, trying to figure out where everything is in California. I'm at this weird spot where I'm 2.5 hours from LA, 3.5 hours to you, 3 hours from Vegas. So, you know, just trying to find stuff to do. And I was like, you know what, I'll just start teaching. So it's kind of something I really fell into, you know. Like, because I started out in martial arts. I'm a black belt in karate, 2nd degree in Goju-Ryu karate. I boxed in Florida when I was in the Marine Corps. I wrestled when I was in the military too, you know. So combat was always in me, but I never wanted to be like a UFC fighter or the best fighter in the world or stuff like that too. I just always like, you know, sharing the knowledge. So just like with the ball python thing with the fight game, I got into that because I was tired of seeing all these young kids with promise getting screwed over all the time. It was bad managers, bad advice. It was just like too many people with those old school mentalities, like even the dumbest shit, like, oh, you should never wrap your hands because if you know how to punch with a straight wrist, you never have to worry about an injury. That's for soft people and shit like that. When if you're fighting under a rule set where you can have your hands wrap your fucking hands, you know? So that's just some of the smallest things, but like, you know, so I got into that and just started like mentoring some guys around here because there really wasn't an MMA program in this town. And then that business went under. When that business went under, I moved to my friend's garage. I had a 2-car garage over there where I had like 10 to 15 people, and then 15 turned to 20. Come towards the end of the year, I had 40 people in the 2-car garage when there were still martial arts gyms in town. But people were coming to me for some reason, you know. So so you had these established people here with all these credentials behind them, but for some reason everybody's coming to training with the unknown guy, you know. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, it's funny how
that you know. So the one day we got so packed in there, and literally it just happened like this. One of the girls, twin girls, a little 12-year-old, said, "Coach, you need to stop being the bitch and just get us a building." I was like, respect. So I was like, you know what? All right, you know what? Let's do it. So I had some money, you know, from getting rid of those, from putting aside now while I was getting rid of the desert stuff. And then I told everybody, I was like, look, the first 10 people come up with $500. And once we start the gym in 2014, that's all you got to pay for the whole year for unlimited classes, you know? 24 hours later, I come to the gym, I have $5 grand in my pocket. People just like, boom, we believe in you. Here's the money. Let's get it. So got the building, got the lease, started with the equipment I had, and then man, it's been off to the races, man. So and I've been just grinding ever since, man, with these fighters. And once
hey, can I just say real quick, bro, how much I have respect for your fighter Anthony, like that dude right there, bro, like such a humble guy.
You looked him up.
I know, well, because I met him and I was like, damn, this guy's so.
Oh, you mean
nice.
Victor? Oh, Victor.
Victor. My bad. I don't know why I said that. Excuse me, Victor. My bad, Victor. My bad, Vic. So your homie Victor that you brought over, I met, super nice guy, and then fucking and then Antoine was like, hey, yeah, my boy fights, man. Check out these clips. And the dude just changes inside the fucking like, like, you know what I mean? And he's such a beast, bro. And like, I come from like, you know, I fought in the streets and shit. I know what it takes to get your ass kicked and fight. And I remember the first fight you sent me that I watched, he ate so much of this guy's shit, right? And just didn't spend no energy, like no energy. And as soon as his full started slowing down, he just unleashed, and like the fight turned like fucking a light switch, bro. And I was like, fucking respect. And then the next fight, he was more in control the whole fight. But man, I was like, that's what's up. I mean, I really, fighting is a warrior sport. Like you got to be born with that. You know what I mean? And it's a respect type of mentality because it is a sport, but still, it's still like, it's you versus them. It's one of you guys have, there's not two winners. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I was like, damn, that was sick. And then right there, that I could see how much you have invested in that. Like, and you believe in them. So by seeing those videos, it made sense why you believe in him so much. You know? Like it's awesome, bro.
And that same guy now, you know, he's still teaching with me. He's teaching kids jujitsu. So now that same guy who you saw grinding out in the cage is dealing with 6-year-olds and shit twice a week. And he's got the patience to do that, man. He can turn that switch just like that, man.
Are you ever scouting for new talent?
Yeah, so I actually I manage a lot of fighters outside of the gym too, you know. So like Buddy Wallace, Drake Bowen. I got people from like some of the big gyms from like Black House, aka, you know, that I manage and help them get fights and things like that too. So always go ahead.
I got a homie who has hands, bro. He could squabble, and he's been in the octagon, bro. But you got my homie Aaron Solano Exotics, bro. I've seen this guy, bro. I'm telling you, bro, you should link up with this guy because this fool has potential. I've seen he fucks around in his house, and he's actually done some competing before. Okay, I think, man, this fool, he just has some clean hands, bro. So
hey, Aaron, add me on Instagram and DM me, man. We'll chop it up today.
Yeah, please. That'd be sick. Shout out to homie Aaron. Thanks for being here this morning. But yeah, man. So what did fighting really, or like getting involved into that type of, you know, demographic of sports and stuff like that, like what did that do to you as a person, you feel like?
Well, it helped me to be able to resolve conflict a little bit differently because so now a lot of people in this industry, when you have a problem with them, they can literally just fuck you up. So now you got to figure out a smarter way to do things, and that's not really the best way. That's not really the best way to resolve the issues anyway, you know. So like there's a lot of coaches, man, like I've looked across from, and a lot of fighters like in the UFC that I've had disagreements with and things like that over the years, but we're able to just talk it out, you know. Like I have some of my guys from a fucking garage gym that's beat some of the people from like the biggest gyms from like Greg Jackson's American Top Team and things like that. But then, you know, sometimes there's referee decisions that go wrong, and you got to be able to just, you know, sit there and talk about it too, because in the big scheme of things, this is business. It's not the streets, you know. So you got to realize that, yes, it's fighting, and yes, it's competition, and it brings, you know, that warrior out in you and your animalistic instincts. But I need a paycheck. So if I do anything to mess up that paycheck, then we're wasting our time. You know, like this is a check, you know. Like sometimes we've been in Tijuana before, man, and we got the envelope before the fight that was almost triple what our purse was supposed to be, you know. and I'm like, what's this? And it's like, yeah, you're gonna lose this fight, and then we end up getting a knockout in like 8 seconds, and then we take our money and fucking run over the border. Shit.
So they wanted your boy to lose?
Yeah, they wanted us to throw the fight, man, and then, you know, that didn't happen. I don't play that shit, you know. So there's still integrity involved, and like you would never tarnish my name with some shit like that too. You know what I mean? So I mean, like I'd rather go winless, like, you know, for 2 or 3 years, no one went out there and put in the work, than get accused of throwing somebody's fight. You know what I mean? Like that's the war. I don't care about missing weight. I don't care about like, even if you no show, throwing a fight is the worst thing you can do. You're a piece of fucking shit if you ever did it. So yeah, so we don't play that in the fight game. So so just back to that, things I picked up. Also, too, man, just work ethic. You know, like I can tell from a fighter right away. I can look at their record. Looking at someone's record doesn't really mean anything. But when you look at training videos, look who their sparring partners are, and talk to those people, and they can identify with your character. That's a work ethic. You know what I mean? So you can go out there and take any fights. There's some people that's poorly managed and don't have the resources that they need to have a real fighting career. Dude, I know killers in the gym that work their asses off. That's 0-8 as a professional. You know what I mean? Because they're taking the wrong fights. They're going out there not, being resourceful as the other people who are they fighting. But their work ethic is just is phenomenal. And that's what I like about some of these people in our industry right now. You can tell the people who put into their podcasts, their YouTube videos, their collections, their Instagram and shit like that too. In 2021, if you got a grainy ass video and you taking pictures on Instagram with a Motorola Razor, that tells me if you're not putting a little bit of effort into that, you're not putting that shit into your animals either. And people will disagree, right? People will I know people disagree with that. Like, no, well, I just spend more time with my animals, and that's where the care is, and I don't care about anything else.
He said Razor. Oh my
fuck.
God! Remember, like back when we had razors, we loved that picture. It was a 2 megapixel or 1 megapixel.
Yeah, it was like 1.5, 2 megapixels and shit like that. Everything's going like this when you try to do video and shit.
Oh my God, it's so true though, because like people don't understand like how you market yourself, how you really brand yourself, really determines how you do in this industry, bro. Like. It's everything. Like, get your shit right. You know what I mean?
It's the small, tiny details I look at people with. Okay, if you're filming a video, right, and it's for your channel, and you pull out a tub for your video, and fucking there's plants growing out of your reptile, and there's fucking furry shit in the background. Like, dude, like it would took 1 second to just grab it, spot clean it, and do that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just stuff that kills me with things like that, man. Yeah, you're trying to get stuff out there. Yeah, you're trying to share, but just put like those little small details and stuff I look for. And I brought that from fighting because like I could be backstage, right? We're backstage warming up, and I see our guy's opponent. Like doing that so long, I can watch the way a guy walks around a room, and I go, okay, his shoulder's messed up, so he's not going to throw that left hand, or he's favoring his right leg right now, so he probably got a partial MCL tear. So what we're going to do, if he goes right foot forward, we're going to leg kick the living shit out of him from the inside to slow his ass down, and we can do everything on the fly. And just like in our hobby, you have to learn to adjust on the fly, man. Like, even if you have a way that you're setting your ways that you like to do that's working for you, there are better ways to do things, but you have to figure out what works for you. Your collection, my collection, and your collection, if we do the exact same temperatures and humidity levels with our animals in our different environments, our elevation, they'll do completely different. You know what I'm saying? If we both set our thermostats the same exact way with the same exact tubs, we're not going to have the same results. I'm 3,000 feet right now above sea level in the desert, and it's so humid here that fleas can't live in Ridgecrest. You know that shit? Right. Fleas cannot thrive here. So if you do the same thing, you know what I mean? So you got to just, I'm rambling about a bunch of different shit right now, but I mean, it all touches home. It's about, making those adjustments, man. And, just learning off the fly, taking advice from people who know better than you and fucking, so like, glad you just brought that up. Okay, I'm gonna counter as soon as you're done, because I want to say something about that. So go ahead, keep going. Oh yeah, I was just saying, just like when you're around the OGs in the game and shit, like when I go to these like reptile shows and conventions, there's guys 2 years in who never fucking stop talking the whole damn time, and the OGs look at them like, okay, where me, I've been doing it. I've been keeping balls for 15 years now, and you won't hear a peep out of me. I'm just sitting here watching, smiling, nodding my head, taking mental notes and real notes and shit, and learning from people. Right. So the reason I got all psyched right now is because just last night, right? Because obviously my passion for chondros and green trees and whatnot, green trees are chondros. It's obviously having an influence on who watches this, because I get a lot of people questioning me, or like a lot of people who like
just recently I had a couple people who got a small neo, like a young chondro, right? And there's, if you want to keep a chondro and have it thrive, there's just simple things you do while it's young to just ensure that, right? So one thing these two people did was, is that me? Not you, Blair.
That might be
anyways,
this. There you go.
You're good. But one thing these two people had in common is they both got enclosures, like enclosures that were about almost 2 feet long and about a foot high, and it was all decked out and stuff. And they had like these really nice neos in there. And I was like, nice, that's cool. It looks good. I was like, when did you get it? Oh, I just got it like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, there you go. There's one little red flag, right? So I gave them both advice. I told them, if I were you, I would not put them in that enclosure. I would make sure that you have them in a tub setting enclosure. That way the humidity is on point. And then I asked them, is that a United States captain born and bred? And one was, and the other one was, he said, yeah. And I was like, well, who produced it? And he has no clue who produced it. Not a United States captain born and bred. Sorry. If you don't know who produced a chondro, it wasn't bred here. That's a motherfucking import. I'll tell you why, because there's a wait list anywhere you look for fucking neonates in the United States. Find somebody who's breeding chondros and ask him if he has neos for selling. He's selling to random people. It's not happening. Anyways, so long story short, one of them took my advice, put it in a tub, and he's like, all right, cool, man, I have a peace of mind. The other one didn't take the advice, left it in there. About a month later, I get a shot of this chondro who has all this shed that's just not shedding, like it's just not coming off, and he can't shed. And what's crazy is like the chondro's going into a second shed. Okay. And the chondro's bloated as fuck. The chondro won't shit. It's dehydrated. It doesn't want to drink because you're literally putting this fucking goddamn baby chondro, and they're babies within the first year and a half, 2 years. Small. You're putting in this environment where it's exposed. It doesn't want to be looked at, so it's going to shut down. But anyways, I was still able to help him out because I told him, look, this is when you have to put it in a tub now, and you have to put it over water, because one thing that chondros will do is if they're over water, it's ensuring that they're going to drink. They'll just go down and drink, right? But it's also keeping the humidity on point. So sure enough, long story short, even though this is a long ass story, he called me the next day. He's like, bro, the fucking snake took a shit this big and the shed came off like butter. And I was like, I told you, you know what I mean? But, you could kill a chondro like that very easily. And people don't, as much as you want to put this beautiful thing in a fucking nice vivarium or in a nice fucking exoterra, I get it. But you got to wait for it to be an adult at least. You know what I mean? So, but I'm just really happy that the first person who just took my advice right off the bat didn't give me no pushback. He was like, look, dude, he's like, I want your advice. I'm going to do what you said. And it's working for him. So there's people out there who are actually like looking for advice, and they're not looking to be like, oh, you're wrong, I'm right. Yeah. Because it's not about who's wrong, who's right. It's about the what?
The snake, the animal getting its desired results. Yeah.
That's it. It's not about us. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'm telling you what I've been keeping for over 4 years and what's thriving. That's it. Period. Like those are the ones who go long in this shit, man. The ones who take advice from people who've been doing stuff and who are just keeping their mouth shut and just listening. So I just wanted to capitalize on that. Sorry, I wanted to.
I mean, and that's so one of the most questions I have with things as far as advice goes is people who do homemade incubators, right? Everybody, they go get their Monster Energy glass one side shit, and they want it to look all crazy, adding the bells and whistles. And then you look at it, it's 11-inch heat tape in the back, the bottom, the side, the top. It's like heat tape the fuck out. And then never fails, I go, hey man, that's a nice setup, but all you need is the one strip in the back that's about 4 feet. Less is more when it comes to incubators. No, so far I'm using my pulse thing, and I have my sensor push inside of it, and it lets me know. And according to my chart, it's accurate as a fucking a tenth of a degree. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's going to be different when you have eggs in there. When you have the egg boxes in there, and you have your substrate, and you have your water, and you have everything else in there that you need, the temperatures are going to change. You don't know what you're talking about. I think I'm just going with what I've done. I'm like, how many incubators have you made before? Well, this is my first one. I'm like, well, how many eggs have you hatched yet? Oh, I haven't hatched any. Have you owned an incubator before? No, this is my first one. So
you're saying
So what you're saying is that you rather just go out on a limb because someone else is giving you some advice. I'm like, you know what? It's your animals. You do what you see fit. When you come back here and I don't see any clutches from you, and I see your animals with huge kinks in their backs, and it don't happen, then we're gonna go. Then the following year, hey man, I just threw it out and bought a hot box incubator because I figured that was the smartest thing to do, and I lost so much money on my animals. You know what I tell my kids, bro? I got a 21-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 16-year-old. I tell them, I was like, you know what? Adults don't have all the answers, and we fuck up a lot. But and have a kid's mentality, because I had the same thing, was, nah, you know what? I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I'll screw up and learn from it. No, bitch. That's cool, but you can learn from somebody else's mistake that's right there willing to help you. You know, I screwed up the same way. You know, like when I had my incubator, there was someone who told me that, you know, it's been around for a long time. It produces hundreds of clutches a year. He saw my first build. He goes, hey, man, that's too much heat tape. Right. I'm like, oh, motherfucker, no, it's not. It was. You know what I'm saying? So learn from other people, man. Like, learn from other people's past mistakes. And like I said, just do what works for you currently, but still listen to taking criticism, man, and have those people around you that can just call you and just shoot the shit with you that you learn from every day, man. You know, like I'm fortunate enough to have, you know, people like you, Miguel, Earl Jones from Lone Wolf, Billy, that I can just call out of the blue and shoot the shit about stuff, because like I know where all of you guys' strengths are. You know what I'm saying? So like when I move over, when I start grabbing, you know, some green trees and shit like that, I'm gonna like, hey man, you're gonna be like, fuck, it's Antoine again. God damn it, what is it? Hey, so does the plant have to have 4 leaves on one stream, or the other ones that like even dumb shit like that? So always have a lot of people in your corner that, even if they're not well-rounded and everything as far as a hobby goes, people that's good with the business aspect, the social media, the, you know, producing eggs and like getting things to copulate and produce together. Those are guys you need to have around you, man. So get some fucking advice. Stop trying to. There's too many resources out there right now, bro. So like.
Another thing too, Antoine, not only do you need to take advice from fucking people who've been doing it, but you need to always show respect to those people.
Yeah.
You always fucking give them that time of day that they gave you, no matter where you go. And I've said, dude, I'll say this now. I don't give a fuck what this guy did. I mean, oh shit. I take that back. I fucking hella care what this guy did. I really do. But now that it's done, I will always still show props to Chris Sursery for putting me on in the beginning. Like you gotta understand, I came into this, I don't want to name the people who misled me, but I had people who misled me. They didn't want to give me information. Before Miguel, I met Chris Sursery, and Chris Sursery, he gave me that time of day, and he really put me on to shit. And I'll never forget that. He made me skip a lot of steps that I could have learned on my own, and I didn't have to. But then Miguel, same fucking thing with Miguel. That's my boy, bro. Like he did the exact same thing for me. And I will always give those people props. You know, as long as they don't murder anyone, shit like that. Yeah. I will always give those people props for helping me and putting me where I'm at today, because people always ask me, MJ, how'd you get where you're at? Even though I'm still a fucking newbie in this shit, but still, they always ask me, how'd you get where you're at? It's because I listen to the people who put me on, and I always show respect to them. Always. Because without them, I would, you know, who knows where I would have been. I probably would have been running in circles over some bullshit. You feel me? So
speaking of Miguel, you know, he was the reason I got my first 700 followers, bro.
Right.
I posted this. I think it was like 2017. I think I made a pair of super black pastels, like what my logo is, whatever, with the crazy ringer. Right. And it was like, you know, Always Evolved Pythons follows you. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I've seen that guy before. And then he messaged me, hey, bro, you care if I share your picture on my story? I was like, thanks, cool. You know? So we shared it and shit. And then, like, I went to bed and woke up, and I was like, how the fuck I get like 700-800 followers and shit overnight and shit like that, too? And then, you know, I started kind of watching him and his stuff, and then realized he lived an hour away from me and shit, man. And I was like, man, this is nuts. I was like, dude, he's doing it right, bro. You know, so especially when it came to like social media and putting yourself out there, you know. So there's 2 lanes that, there's more than 2 lanes, but there's 2 main lanes we can all do in this hobby. You know, we can get to the point where we stay quiet for years and then produce some fire and let the animals speak for themselves, you know?
Right.
or we can start working on projects, start putting ourselves out there, be the person that's commenting in people's lives, that's getting on stuff and everything, that's posting on Instagram and social media and showing what you got and being a part of the community, and then being productive and producing some fire shit and having everybody sell. You know what I mean? So, but the new way, quote unquote, I think is the better way, because you're not spending all of those years like keep it like not showing your face and not putting yourself out there and barely selling animals to keep afloat because no one knows you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The reason, and that's the reason, and that's what that's what was going on with me. I had a niche, a small group of people who always bought from me, but I wanted to expand, and it's real hard to try to expand something. Like what really brought me over the edge 2 years ago is when I sold a highway mail. I had it for sale, and a guy was online on Facebook. He was like, "Hey man, is it cool if we video chat each other? Because I need to see that as you pulling your snake out of the tub and grabbing a snake and showing me and put it on a scale."
Oh my God.
Like that. I was like, fam. I was just like, I don't want to do this shit. But I was doing away with. I was replacing gravel with asphalt stuff and switched over to freeway stuff. So that's why I had both my highways for sale. And I was like, you know what? He seemed really, really serious about it, and I can tell he's been like fucked over before. Like you can just tell it in his voice. I've called him before, so I did it. And then he paid for the animal and shit like that. Animal's doing great, thriving, cool dude. But I said to myself, I'm not doing this shit again, man. Like like when I'm trying to expand this business, I need people to know who the hell I am. And I was kind of waiting to do it. But then a lot of my friends were just like, Antoine, you're gonna make these videos. It's not going to be a fucking blockbuster hit your first time out. You know what I'm saying? Like you got it in your head where you need to have $10,000 in equipment and start making these videos. You know what I mean? So, but shout out to, GP and Secret of Ball Pythons, man. Those are the guys who told me, you know what I mean? Like use your own advice for your fighters and your other friends who run businesses and put your face out there and get people to trust you. So that's what I did, bro. And the 15th would be a year since my first YouTube video. And that shit, we've been off to the races, bro, So
yeah. So yeah, YouTube, man, I could tell right now that one thing I learned about you that I respected, like I picked up on your YouTube grind before any other kind of grind. I was like, damn, this motherfucker pumps it out, because I became friends with you on Facebook. And I feel like for whatever reason, I would see a lot of your Facebook posts more than your Instagram shit.
Yeah.
Because I think you post more frequently on Facebook, right?
Big jokes and shit like that. And like,
oh my God.
Photoshop.
Bro, I'm sorry. And there's people who like try to be funny, but I feel like you're not even putting effort into it. You're just you just got funny shit that goes on through your head, and you just say it. It's just funny, bro. Like, what was the last thing you said? Hold on, let me look at the last.
the J-Lo shit. Oh, the Jennifer Lopez.
No, that was funny, but you did something recently. Hold on. It was fucking. Hold on. This is how funny this was. Hold on. Oh no, hold on. That was the wrong one. That was Antoine.
The time zone shit, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was. He said he's like, stop playing shares, turn back time. Oh, hold on, let me see. Where's it at? Oh yeah, stop sharing the shares, turn back time meme. The time goes forward this weekend, you damn dummies.
Yeah, like what the fuck? And then like it's people in Arizona sharing the fucking meme, and I'm like, you guys don't change the time in Arizona, so like, what the hell y'all fucking doing? So, but there's an origin behind all like the corny dad jokes and the wordplay stuff too. That like the whole when you showed me your Pop One Olive python, and I kept calling it the Pop One Olive and shit, because I was like, yo, I could make that into a bar, yo, because I used to battle rap when I was in the military too. Right. So like most of the dad jokes and the wordplay stuff that I do when I talk about like, different morphs and stuff like that, it comes from that background. Like I'm from the East Coast, so I'm always like, I'm more leaning toward like East Coast hip hop and things like that. But but I never really cared about making music. I just like going to clubs and like, taking people's money and like shitting on them and making everybody laugh, but rhyming at the same time. And I always used to be that person that like took schemes together and did things like that. And then now as a dad with a bunch of teenagers, they just turn to fucking dad jokes.
and it only gets funnier and funnier as you go along.
Yeah, so I mean, it was crazy, man. Like the whole time you was talking about your olive pythons and shit, I was like sipping martinis. I'm gonna pop one olive, watching videos, but it's pop one olive and shit.
What did you call that snake though? You called it a poppin' python for
like because I thought you were saying pop one olive.
Oh,
and I didn't know what. Yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, what the? Yo, what's my man talking about, bro? Like, and it was like, but I was legitimately ignorant because I never heard of like Papua, meaning from Papua New Guinea, like of or pertaining to Papua New Guinea. So you kept in my brain, you kept saying, yeah, I'm gonna go get the Papua olive. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? You know, and then so I was like, you know what? Is that just me sounding stupid? I'm just gonna ask you. I'm like, what are you saying? He said, oh, Papua olive. Okay, all right, cool. Like because it's from PNG, right? Papua New Guinea. Yeah, right. Yep. Okay, so it finally came together, and you know, I just had so much shit going on at the time. We were fucking around and shit, having a good time. Yeah. I just peeked my brains out off of that.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed, man. That would have helped. I mean, because you got the fries, you got the carne
asada fries and all that shit. Yeah,
I thought you got the ones with like 2 different types of meat. So you just got carne asada fries.
I taste like they put lengua in it for some reason, like they did it by mistake or something, because that usually makes me throw up. So for some reason I can't. That shit hit my stomach, and I'm just like, nah.
You know what's fucked up is like, remember we tried to meet at another spot and it was closed. That's our spot. We don't ever go to the H Tree spot. So I was kind of, also what I got wasn't really on the same level what I normally. But yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but I was.
Victor liked it, right?
Yeah, he tore it up and shit. I was telling him the last time I was in San Diego, the line was wrapped around the door, but it was before like the COVID shit. So we had walk-up service. We went in, and it was nuts, man. But
right.
Yeah, so shout out to the Pop One Olive, dope ass. Shout out to my homie, the Pop One Olive. That's a dope ass animal and shit. So,
well, listen. To get back on the subject of dope ass animals, let's talk about when you pick things back up, because I want to know what year it was when High Desert Pythons became the brand on social media and all that other stuff. So let's take it from there.
All right. So getting back into the snakes, I moved into my building, and I think it was 2 years later when I actually started making money right away. And I figured out a time where, I could maximize my time because I only taught classes twice a week, which I do now. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are my class days, and I had so much other time to do stuff. And other than traveling for fights, I still like staying busy. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit up my guy. I'll get some of my key snakes, some of my pod projects too, and I'm gonna get some of those back. So I want to say 2016. And so I got some of my pod females back, some pod males, my black pastel stuff. And I just started going online, and I was like, man, they got all these Facebook auctions and stuff now too. Let me see what this stuff is about, and if it's just a bunch of people's throwaway animals or whatever, So there was one that's not around anymore, and I started picking up inchy pin pieds and banana clowns, het axanthics, and just some cool stuff to make some good future projects with. Because what I learned the first time around is don't think about immediate projects. Think about 4, 5, 6 years ahead and what you want to do, right? And I play different angles of it, So when I see a project I like, 2 things come to my mind. One, what's the longevity of that project? How's it going to do in 3, 4, 5 years? When everybody was crazy about the Batman and stuff like that, I heard people my ultimate goal in ball pythons is to make the Batman. I'm like, okay, what else? No, that's it, just the Batman. So now this $7,000 animal, the following year to be $5,000, and it's gonna keep decreasing the value because by the time you finally make one, there's gonna be the coral glow Batman, the red stripe Batman. There's gonna be the fucking Robin Hood Men in Tights or whatever the fuck they add to this animal, So think about improving on it and think about what the longevity of the project, So I saw the panda was still around or whatever. Everybody wanted to do panda pies, but I knew about the kinking problems and things like that. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I had a black pastel pie that always made ringers. He always, no matter what he's bred to, it always produced a real cool ringer. So I was like, you know what? Instead of just making pandas, I'm gonna try to just make a super black pastel that just has the ring and it looks just as good, as not better, as a panda. Boom. First breeder, made 2 of them. You know, so and that's what my logo is now. It had like this white band on it like that, and people was like, "Man, is that a panda pie?" I was like, "Nope, it's a super black pastel het pie or whatever." You know, so that was like my flagship project there. So I produced a lot of that stuff, and I use that to fund other projects. Now I finally got into clown stuff when I got back. I literally made all of my clown pie stuff and my clown pie combo stuff just from a single gene male clown that I paid $125 for. But I put that the first time I got out, a single gene clown male was $800. It was just so crazy to me. So I picked him up and I looked at some other like projects too, and I took chances. I won't do this now because I have the money to do it. I took chances on like 66% hets and 50% hets and things like that, but I bought like multiples of them. So if I had something I want to get into a clown project with, and I got two 66% het clown females, I raised those up and they produce clowns. Cool. If they don't, no harm, no foul. I spent $100 on them. You know what I'm saying? Well, another dope show. What's up from Norway, boys? Oh man, I got a Norway joke coming up too. So so stay on here. So
Dude, Norway always shows strap support, man.
Norway is dope, man. So do you know why Norwegian boats have barcodes on the side of them?
Why?
So they can Scandinavian. We just warming up, y'all. They get better. I'm telling you, no. Oh man. So yeah, so it just started with that project too, and then I started getting into clown stuff because the first time around I had no clown stuff at all, and it just so happens that a lot of the stuff just proved out, you know. So I just started building on that, and so I split my time in half with that. So it was building cool projects that I like and that I can actually make money off the stuff that I'm not keeping, and slowly but surely posting on Instagram here and there and seeing what the people who are doing better than me, the people that's killing it, the people with 10,000 plus followers were doing with their Instagram stuff. So, you know, I started doing that. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people, I go to the hashtag section and I copy and paste the fuck out of that and see if that shit worked, you know, but it really didn't as well because I still didn't have that follow, but it still got some speed on a lot of my, on like get my face out there, man. So, and then after that, it was just getting involved in people's YouTube pages, commenting on stuff, you know, that I like, but it was genuine stuff though. Like I would never comment on somebody's page. Hey man, could you go to my page and give me a subscribe to my stuff? You know what I mean? Like I don't knock anyone who does it, but to me, that always seemed like cheesy and disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I think he just popped off. Hey, comment below if you guys can still see the feed to see if I'm in here. So yeah, just real people being real disingenuous when they jump into stuff like that. So no, you can comment some positive stuff, leave some feedback, ask some questions and shit like that. And yeah, man, you'd be cool. So and then from there, I just decided to just kind of amp it up, put a little bit more money into my projects, see what was out there, and see how I can improve on it. I think it's internet might have dipped. Yeah, local. I think it's internet. Like I said, ooh. Yeah. So then after that, I just started putting more money into my ball python projects and moving on from there. And that and social media and the shit just blew up after that, man. Well, I wouldn't say blow up. It's still getting there, but we all having a good time. Wait for him to pop up. Let me see if we got some questions in the comments. So I can answer some of those real quick too.
What's Bucci? My bad.
Okay, there you go. Am I coming to Del Mar?
Yeah, let's talk about Del Mar. Let's talk about Del Mar. I love that. Let's talk about Del Mar. What's good? Hey, bro, I have a good feeling this show's gonna be popping. Like I'm talking about who shows up. What's good? Are you gonna roll?
I'll be there. It's Friday and Saturday, right? It was 3 days. I think it's
3 days. I'll be there Saturday. Yeah.
So I'm going Friday because on Saturday I got a photo shoot with some snakes in Vegas and shit. So I'm doing I got a couple of gigs. So like another little sign thing I've been doing lately is a lot of my stuff that I don't breed or like taking a year off or whatever that still getting some weight on them. I take them out to some of my friends that are like IG models and like OnlyFans and UFC fighters out there that always want to do photos with snakes and stuff too. And boom, I go out there, show them, do a little education behind it. Then they take some dope pictures, tag me in a bunch of shit, you know. So
Right.
I got that to follow Saturday, but I'm leave work early on Friday and head to the Del Mar show. So I'm gonna be there, you know, hanging out with everybody, kissing babies and all that shit. So
That's what I'm talking about. We gotta have like a little link up, like little meetup spot in the parking lot. I want to roll up deep into the show. I want to scare some white people, some rich white people.
Stupid.
But no, for real, man. I'm looking forward to it. You know, this is going to be one of the first shows where I don't see the homie Dan Maury from DM Exotics. He typically always has the best table when it comes to chondros and just fucking imports and shit. But you never know, man. Listen, at the end of the day, people have been waiting to vend, especially in Cali. So fingers crossed, man. This show, I mean, it's a Reptile Expo show, so it's not a super show. But you know, let's see what happens. Glad you're going though. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah. Who runs that show? Do you know?
I don't know, man. See, that's another opportunity I have is getting to know who runs the shows more. I know Rami runs the super shows here in San Diego, and shout out to Rami. Rami's awesome. But like the Reptile Expo, I'm not sure who runs those and stuff. I mean, I'm gonna ask. I'll find out. But you know, hopefully it's popping, man. It's a 3-day event, and you know, that's a 3-day event. And you know what's crazy? I went to the Del Mar show 2 years ago, and it was packed. Like it was packed, but it was like packed full of like, you know, like families and shit. A lot of window shoppers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys roll up. If you guys want to meet up, let me know. Hit me up. I'm down to link up. I'll be smoking tough in the parking lot. Probably light up inside the building. You never know. Yeah,
I'm gonna order some more stickers and stuff tonight too. So I'm gonna pass out a bunch of stickers and all that too, and bring some T-shirts with me. And we gonna act up, man. So, but then, but then I gotta turn back around and then go from there to Vegas and shit. I'm just like, but you know, so we gonna have fun, man. And then I'm going to Arlington too, so I'll be in Texas next month. So
damn, too. Oh, damn, Arlington, that's going to be popping. Another show that you guys should try to roll to is Arlington. Shout out to all my Texans. I got to go to I'm going to go visit my sister in Seattle during that week. But, you know, man, Arlington's where it's at. I'll be going to the Arlington show in October, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably go to that one too, especially if Tinley isn't back by then, which I don't think it is. It's going to be. So
right.
They made like that whole Tinley Park area, I think like a vaccine center or something like that. So I don't know how long that's going to last for, but
right.
Yeah, man, we'll do that, man. So yeah, but back to before that. So like I said, it was just balancing, moving into the clown project and seeing what the potential was with clown, and then just trying to improve on that because everybody's calling me crazy for this, right? I know I'm not fucking crazy, but there was a book I read back in the day that said, "Here's a clown. We're not sure if it's genetic or not. So do what you will with that information."
Right.
So I don't know what book it. I asked Brian Barczyk. I asked a bunch of people, and they was like, "Dude, you're fucking bugging. There was never a book this." I hit up Brian, and Brian was like, "Yo, my dude, you tripping? There was never a book that had that shit." I like, fam, I'm telling you, I will fight you over this shit because I know. Because every time, like I said, back even when clown males were $800 by themselves, I was like, "Well, fuck this gene." And then, but now I knew it's genetic, but I was like, "Well, there's nothing going on with clowns right now." And then, you know, we see what's going on with clowns right now. So,
man, that's a staple, man. It's like it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like if you really want to get into ball pythons, and you don't know that clown is your first step, then you need to just study harder or reach out to people harder, because clown is the forever lasting recessive that you could continue to put fucking Jumbo Wombo, Super Panther, whatever the fuck to it, and God knows what you're gonna get. It's just
dude, it's I think the clown combo, I think is full potential. I think we're only like 10% there right now. That's it. And I think that's cutting it close. You know, I mean, other than the stuff that Justin has hidden in the tuck right now that we don't know about, other than that stuff, I mean, we really don't know. And a lot of people don't realize that if they combine all that stuff in their collection, there's a lot of stuff that still hasn't been tapped in yet, you know. So that clown is just crazy, man. Like, and then just for like, obviously, you know, like I got a Pompeii back there, right? You see the thing in my the poster right there, right? That Pompeii. And the thing with that is, yes, it's a dope ass snake. Am I ever going to own a Pompeii? No. Am I ever going to make a Pompeii? Nope. Why? Because everything in that snake right there can be improved on. You know, every other than like just the base recessive gene clown, everything that makes up the Pompeii, there's a step up as far as like the power in his genetics and as far as like his monetary value as well. So should I reproduce that or should I try to make better? So what I'm doing, I'm keeping spot nose in it for half of my stuff, but the other half I got hurricane in it too, right? So I got so instead of being a clown that's yellow belly, black pastel, red stripe, spot nose, I'm making hurricane, red stripe, mahogany, asphalt clowns. You know what I mean? Stuff like that too. So that way, if I do have, you know, like that type of animal in it, I don't have to worry about making an all white snake if I put him to something that also has yellow belly in it or things like that. Or if I'm not sure, because sometimes you can have yellow belly and stuff and it's a low expression, you know? So what happens now when you take that animal to a low expression yellow belly and now you got a bunch of ridiculously comboed snakes, but they're white.
Yeah.
You know? Or would you rather put a male like that with all those genes into it to something that also might be yellow belly somewhere else? So now you got a spot nose, mahogany, hurricane, red stripe, super asphalt clown. I take that bitch any day.
Because everything you do is relates to longevity. Like you're trying to continue on and spread what you have to other shit. You know what I mean? So asphalt's a huge piece for you, right? Asphalt.
Yeah, it's definitely it's the staple codom in my collection, and I'm just like constantly looking for it now. So if anybody's making any visual asphalt clown females this year, hit me up. I want to buy like 3 or 4 of them, so I'll just go rack them up. You know, so I'll spend the money on them, and then we'll just keep doing it that way. I kept a female back from 2 years ago. That was a 50-50. I'm going to raise her up too. And if she proves out to be asphalt, I'm putting her to my clown pies. So off rip, I'll have asphalt double head clown pies. Asphalt clown pies don't exist yet either. So there's still some crazy stuff that's out there that people haven't made yet. So in my 3-year plan, 4-year plan, I'll have a rack full of by accident super asphalt dreamsicles, super asphalt clown pies, super asphalt mahogany red stripe clown pies. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So that's the goal, to just throw the game. So like anything I make out of those snakes, you would never have like a normal, you would never have some like, you know, what they call like basic stuff or throwaways, you know, like I want to get to the point where my throwaways or the ones that I'm selling are the staple in other people's collection. And that's how everybody should be, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Damn, bro, I'm definitely trying to pick up some asphalt off you pretty soon. I ain't got I mean, that's one thing I've always like, you know, because, you know, I didn't come into this balling. You know, I had to be I had to be specific on what I wanted to work with, and it was either gravel or asphalt. And I went the gravel route, but, you know, because how dark, you know, obviously following Billy and shit and seeing how dark his freeways are and shit, I was like, God damn, dude, like, I don't want to say I made a mistake, but fuck, I need to get freeway. Like, freeway is a huge importance to me to get. That's the one thing I don't have. Freeway and DG. So if anyone want to, you know, talk to me about those two, let me know. But
I got a whole rack of DG female ready to go this shit. Bro, it's just the male is just so trash right now, man. He's just not kicking it, man. Oh, and another thing too, you probably heard me talk about like the males that I got from this like past season that haven't been going. I wake up today, man, the clown pie's working, bro. I posted it. Yeah, he's tied to the red stripe possible head pie. So and whether she proves out or not, man, all the female red stripes are staying. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so a couple years, man, there'll be red stripe clown pies everywhere and red stripe mahogany clown pies falling out the sky. So
damn, man, that's heavy, bro.
Fucking we working, bro.
Let me ask you this, bro. You know, I want to know both phases of your brand. So in the earlier desert days, and then let's link to now, who were your biggest inspirations? Who are the motherfuckers that you were just like watching afar or connected with, regardless? Who were the biggest ones that were just pushing you to do what you're doing? I would not.
First of all, I wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for Brian Barchett.
Rizzo.
I wouldn't even be I wouldn't have more than one snake. I still have like a normal sitting somewhere that I'm just looking at, that I'm like, hey, everybody, watch and eat this rat and shit. You know, we coming over, we've been drinking and whatever. Oh, check this out. You know what I mean? Just being one of those crazy people there. But then I just happened to be on YouTube one day, man, and I saw Brian's channel, and I was like, "You mean they come in other colors?" Oh shit! So I followed him, watched all like the old Snake Bikes TV stuff, man, and I was just like, "Man, you can make a living off of selling snakes. This is wild!" Like, I thought, you know, when you had a pet store, you ever had to have like this big facility, you had to have like chameleons and rabbits and, you know, shit like that. So this is the first time I actually watched a specialty business, like when BHB was his biggest gym building, when he had like this 50,000 square foot warehouse the very first time around. You know, right. It was back in those days, man, and you know, just all employees you watch go through there over the years. So he posted a male pinstripe pied, and I was like, you know what? That's the dopest snake on the fucking planet. This was like 2009, right? I was like, yo, this is crazy. It had like the perfect amount of pinstripe pattern with the saddles and like it was like 50-50. I called BHB. He picks up the phone. He goes, damn. I'm like, so I better phone heck with me. Oh shit, Brian! Like my nigga, like what? But before that time though, we always interacted on like Twitter because he used to watch the fights all the time too. You know, he used to wear like the Affliction shirts all the time and shit too. Right. So I know he was a big fight fan. So even he probably didn't know who I was. We'd be on Twitter going back and forth discussing fights. And he'd be like, "Oh, I got this guy." I'm like, "You out of your fucking mind?" And just, you know, just real friendly banter. So we were just talking and shit. And I was like, I like, yo, box up that pinstripe pie and send it to me. He was like, as long as you got $12,000, you can have them. I was like, 12 what to what? Just a second. I was like $12,000. You got your goddamn mind. So at that point I realized like my brain was like, it's not a fucking game, you know, like not at all. So I was like, you know what? I mean, to be completely honest with you, there's no way I have $12,500 to spend on this snake, but I'm going to get the ingredients to make my own.
Right.
So that day I hung up the phone with him. That day I started picking up pinstripe stuff. Like I got like a pied male, I got like a pinstripe female, whatever, you know, and then put them together and had some, you know, pinhead pieds, held those back and, you know, raised those up. And eventually I got into other projects because, you know, you started looking more into stuff and there was more resources out there. And eventually I did hit an inchy pin pied, you know, which I don't even have anymore. I like so shit. So, but you know, I kind of sort of hit my goal initially, and then it just kind of, you know, moved on from there, like different projects and things like that. So he was that initial spark that I was like, I can make my own shit. So shout out to Brian Barczyk. I know half the community. I know it's just split between how they feel about him, but I bought snakes from him in the past. They've all been healthy. They've all been perfect. He's fucking nothing been dope for me, and he's still one of the biggest people out there, and is still the more easiest accessible person out there, as big as he is. So fucking I owe a lot of my success and everything I do to Brian Barczyk. That's real talk.
Can we kind of talk about like, and you know, this just stems from like the way I was brought up, man. If I love somebody, if I have a big amount of respect for somebody, right, and then I knew there's people who just talked bad about this person I loved and just didn't really have actual facts of what they're talking shit about, but they're talking shit. I can't help but to feel something to that because it's my loved one. Like Brian is like a fucking brother to me, bro. It's like he's my boy because the way we just whatever, you know. But anyways, there's so much toxic shit that goes on in a certain platform, which we all know, Facebook, right? And the thing is, anything that's toxic for the industry still lives within that platform. It's still brewing. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, man, people love to be angry. People love to hate. You know, there's certain people that just love to hate things, even though they don't have a real reason, even if it doesn't involve certain, you know, them on certain occasions, or they didn't even experience anything that other people are mad at. They just love to rally against hate. And boy, did they do that bad with Brian, man. They rallied hate against him. And I didn't understand that. I remember there was one thing that Brian did that did bother me. He posted, or I don't know if it was Photoshop, I have no idea, but I did see a photo with Brian holding a big retic, and it seemed to look like it had bubbles in its mouth. It looked like it had all right. And that right there, because how everyone was rallying up, and this is years back, years ago. I did get upset. I was like, what, why would he do that? But as I looked further and looked into it and saw all these other all these claims that they were saying against him, and there was no fucking actual facts against anything. And as I was like knowing this and going further, I find out like who the orchestrators were. I'm talking about the people who started this fucking fire, this forest fire against Brian. And it's trash. Like it's like these are grown-ass men trying to bring another guy down for whatever reason. And that's my first started hate that I had with Facebook, because these motherfuckers who did this shit to Brian, they're not on Instagram. They're all on Facebook. These are Facebook heavy influence people. They don't have an influence on Instagram. So that being said, I don't like it. The whole mob mentality, the cancel culture. I never heard of that. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And part of it too. I mean, I'm not taking up for those people, but human nature, we as humans, like we're more marveled by destruction than creation.
Right.
That's just how it is. You know what I mean? Like in most cases, in the comment section right now, fucking, you gonna answer this question for me in the comment section. Don't give me the fucking like the politically correct answer. To be honest with you, would you rather see me put a sledgehammer through Michelangelo's David, or would you rather see somebody sit there on the YouTube and paint a Picasso painting and replicate that? What would you rather see? Most people like, man, put that fucking hammer through him. You know, so that's just because it's faster and it's instant right now, and it has a faster gratification. You know what I mean? And that's what people like to do. And they're like, let's cancel them, let's burn them. And we see that thing with everything now, man. We cancel fucking cartoons right now for some crazy reason, you know?
So regardless, though, man, whatever that was happening, like, you know, the experience I felt about people wanting to cancel there was people wanting to cancel Trap Talk. They were trying to like cancel me from what I could read.
Yeah. That
actually trickled down to breeders I respected and talked to. Like I actually got calls from breeders saying, I don't want nothing to do with your podcast anymore. This is bad for the hobby. So you know what that did to me, bro? To have somebody tell me that I've been working so hard. Everyone knows for over a year on top of Unfiltered what I've been putting out for you guys. And I'm not here for sympathy. I don't give a fuck. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. But for somebody who I respect to come down and say your show's no good, it's bad for the hobby. You know, all because of what's fussing on Facebook and what these motherfuckers are poisoning this person's head with. You don't think that it fucking affected me?
Yeah, for real, man.
Like, come on now, you know. And listen, what's done is done. I'm more motivated than ever. But at the end of the day, man, what is happening is what's happening, and what sucks. All the terrible negativity that is still living in this industry to this day is in Facebook. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. It's I'm not going to call nobody out because I don't even want to give them a light today ever. I'll never mention these people's names out my mouth. I'll just remember in my head who these people are.
Well, a lot of times too, you can have a Facebook account that's separate from like your personal brand. You can put a fake picture up there and put like a fake first name, and you can go out there and you can just spew whatever you want or however you truly feel about things. And a lot of times it won't even affect you, especially in a lot of Facebook groups and like the forum style groups, things like that. You can come in and make up a page and put a different face on it and just make up some bullshit too, and how you feel about people. And then you go in there, there's always going to be people like, there's always going to be those people behind the keyboard talking about shit, you know? Like, and the reason why I'm used to it, because people do it with the fight game all the time. They see a person get knocked out. Oh, he was never good.
Yep.
He's 30-0 before he got knocked out. Oh, he was never good. He was overrated. Everybody he fought was a former champion his last 6 fights. Oh, but he's that and said, oh, if I don't understand how.
Would they ever tell him that? Like, let's just say they walked up, hey, you're in the grocery store, and there he is. Would you ever tell him, like, oh, you suck, bro? Like,
no way in hell.
Hard. It's just crazy, bro. It's nuts.
Yeah, so it's just, and that's it. Like, and then people are saying what they should have, could have, would have did in the fight. I don't understand how people keep getting taken down by wrestlers, bro. I just would have sidestepped. Motherfucker, what? I would have sidestepped. Or the it's my mentality, bro. People, oh, bro, like I could never get in the cage, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like, if someone hits me in my face, bro, no referee can hold me. All right, no referee, no commissioner, no police or nothing. Okay, like if you hit me, I see fucking red. You die, I go to prison. That's why I'll never train for a fight. Look. Well, like, shut the fuck up, man. Shit, people don't know. Yeah, this shit is easy, man. Shit, you saw me and Lawrence rolling. His little ass was fucking me up. You see how small he is?
Yeah,
Dude,
but shout out to Lawrence, man. That's been his fucking passion for as long
as beast, man.
As long as we've been hanging out, he's loved fucking the jiu-jitsu shit, and to see you guys roll around and shit and fucking and work together was sick, man. It was awesome because the one thing I do like is like, whoever's turn it is to fucking, as far as when you switch position, you guys always give each other respect. Like it's always like, all right, here we go again. You know what I mean? And man, I just respect that kind of I guess I mean, it is a hobby, but it's also a lifestyle. Like jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle, you live by it. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, it was so cool for you to come down, dog. Like it was really awesome. You got to go to the trap.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure like when he get his black belt, I don't give a fuck what I'm doing. I'm gonna be there when he get his damn black belt. So I'm gonna be right there, one of the people beating his ass with gloves on and everything too. So yeah, there's no other brown belt on the planet right now that I want to be there for when they finally get that black belt to Lawrence. So yeah, he's dope, man. So and then and hopefully he's down there kicking my ass when I get mine too. So
no, you guys are you're definitely gonna get there, which is awesome, bro. Now let me ask you this. With this, because you're in high desert, which is you're in the desert, right? So what's the biggest issue you'd say you have in the demographic you live in? Because I know it's dry and stuff like that. So what are some of your like preparations when seasons come and when it gets hot and cold? Like what are some things that you've learned and stuff that you're always ready for?
So here, I know down there you guys have like AC or swamp coolers where you're at.
Somewhat.
Well, for your air conditioning in the summertime, you use swamp coolers or use AC?
I don't have AC in my pad, bro. I don't have. I'm going to this. Because I live in a house that was built in the 40s. You know what I mean? So this house does not have we have one of those big ass window units in the living room, which kicks ass. But I kind of need something for this room here because, dude, as you know, we had a hot ass summer last year, bro. Like,
so
we got 110 over here. That don't happen.
What I learned living here that they don't have AC units here. They have swamp coolers, which is just like this real simple, basic. It's like a big wheel. It's a big fan that spins up water and blows pretty much like conditioned air through the vented system that way because it's so dry here. That's the best, and it's cheaper. So here you have to have a swamp cooler because the humidity here, you'll be lucky if you ever get above 10% humidity here.
Right.
So being at breeding season, it's time to most of my racks are PVCs because they seem to hold humidity better than everything else. So like to keep and I can tell just by the way the cocoa blocks look or the Reptile shit, depending on what I'm using, how they look in all the racks. Because I can put some in some of my open like Freedom Breeder style racks, like the big CB70s. I can pop some cocoa blocks in there, wet it the normal way. Next day I gotta spray it down. Where my PVC ones, I can keep it like that for 3, 4, or 5 days, and it's still moist. So I have to keep mostly PVC racks here, other than the one behind me, and then which I'm switching over to soon. I'm like going to all PVC, and hopefully by the end of April we can get all that stuff done.
Where's that going to? I forget.
Oh man, that's gonna be your rack behind me, bro. That's gonna
I'll take it. Dude, I can't believe I'm about to RIP 2 Home Depot racks, bro. That's gonna be a heavy day.
Yeah, man, 50 racks, and I'm gonna try to order the 2 that's missing and make sure they come with the cup holders and all that shit too. So yeah, but most of them have like the little PVC couplers in it. You just put the water bowls in like that. So
right.
But man, yeah, it's been great for me, man. It's been doing it, but I just think it's time to move on. And then with a lot of bigger companies, they have the best stuff. Freedom Breeder and ARS make some of the dopest stuff. And I'm close to Freedom Breeder as far as distance goes. But right now, with all the clutches coming right now, I'm not going to be able to have those orders filled in time.
Right.
So I can get this PVC rack with the same tub as the FB40 racks in there. I got a 2-week turnaround on those, where right now it's so busy and everybody gonna be using their stimulus check to buy fucking racks and snakes that it's like almost like a 4.5, 5 to 6 month wait. So that's my reasoning behind it. And just looking at the 2 test ones, I have Freedom Breeder, I have ARS, I have my PVC racks by my boy John Stevens up in Fontana. They're working the best right now. They're super easy to clean and they hold the humidity like champs. And I use ambient too, so that's another thing. If I do like belly heat and stuff like that too, it makes it even worse. But when I keep my room about anywhere between 82 and 84 all year round, I don't do like night drops. I don't do any of that crazy shit. Year round, the only problem with using ambient for me is that it takes longer for follicle, not for egg development after they ovulate and the lay. So a lot of people, so I know like a lot back in the day, or even still now, people who use belly heat, they'll go, okay, she ovulated. I got 50 days, I got eggs. You know, people mark it down, 50 days, I got eggs. It takes between 70 to 80 days for me to get eggs from ovulation. You know,
well, that's what works for you, and that's how you want it.
Yeah. And since I switched completely 100% over to ambient, no slugs.
There you go.
Except for like the Mojave female I got in, and she was already gravid and stuff too, and none of her eggs made it anyway. So, but everything else so far, knock on wood, you know, very minimal, no fucking slugs. So,
see, and then like, you know, I mean, you didn't have to go down that route, but that's what you figured out that works for you the best. You know what I mean? And I feel like people need to start. They need to look around. They need to find out what their temperatures are outside. And what you could do too is like reach out to someone who is in your area or somebody who does deal with the same temps. But like, you just can't be asking any seasoned breeder. Like it's just they're seasoned for their room. Their season's not for, like the whole entire United States. You know what I mean?
Exactly too. And then so like I think closest to me is Miguel. And with his room, he does belly heat too, but the way his is more enclosed, it was designed to be a reptile room. So he has a mini split in his too that, you know, when it's hot, it cools down, and when it's cold, it warms it up too. And that works for him and, you know, everything he's doing and shit too. So, you know, so I mean, it's a bunch of different ways to do things. It's almost infinite combinations to have this situation ideal for your animal. So you just got to learn how to adjust.
One thing that always intrigues me, because, you know, obviously this is something that's huge and we talk about a lot, but like I'm so impressed and you know, never really surprised because, you know, with people's food cycle, like how they feed their animals, because there's so many different ways to do it and people do it what works for them. But there's a few different ways. Like what do you do with your food cycling, or if there is even food cycling or anything like that? How do you do that kind of thing?
So I do live for everything, and I actually get my stuff delivered from a guy in Mojave named Maury. So he provides for me, a couple other guys down there, for Ernie, for Miguel and stuff too. So he drives the hour drive to my house, delivers them on Sundays, and I do live. And when it comes to females, like getting them ready, the thing I've been trying so far in 2020, which has been working for my breeder males, the active breeder males don't eat anything bigger than rat pups.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you keep it real small with them.
So, I mean, you can be 300 grams, 600 grams, 900 grams. So what I do is, I don't know if I coined this or not, but I call it dog treating them. So when I pull a hurricane out today and he's done, I put him in his tub. He gets a rat pup. Good boy.
Right.
He does that. Yeah. Good fucking job, bro. Like finally, like I got 9 clown combo females to breed him to. He been breeding to the same one over and over again because that was his fucking boo thing. So,
right.
But now he's going to the head clown. He's getting out today, going to eat. A couple days later, he's going to the Volta head clown, and then all the way down the rack, you know. But he stays eating. So that's my method with that. And it doesn't have him overweight. It doesn't take a whole lot to digest and process too. And they can deal with that small of a thing because even their appetite is gone, they're used to it now. So,
right.
And then my females, I don't do anything past smalls.
Okay.
I don't do anything past smalls at all. And it just seemed like to me, some of the ones I tried to hurry up and get mediums to bigger rats, or even if I ever do frozens, I try to do a bigger one. They'll just slow down, and then they won't eat as much. So I do smalls for everything, and then some females. If I have extras in the middle of the week, I have a list of females that I know are my garbage dumps. So they'll take extra small here and there, and it's not too overwhelming. So, and then I know I'm used to them, so especially my females that's in year 3, 4, 5, and 6 breeding now. I know when they stop breeding, I know that it's time for them. Their developing follicles get a little bit bigger. So now I can put them on an ultrasound, confirm it. All right, boom, she's done. Breed her one more time, get some damn eggs, so.
Yeah. So with me, right? I mean, hearing, because this ain't the first time I've heard this method of feeding. Like this is one of them that made me stand out. I'm like, damn, am I doing things wrong? And it really started fucking with my head, right? But at the end of the day, like, I was like, well, man, let's think about it. I feed my males because I just didn't, just feed my males small rats. I've always fed them small rats, even once a week. And every male I've paired have been a fucking, I got this guy man of the year 2019. He gave me the best clutches ever. And,
Hell yeah.
And he never shut off food. And I've yet to have, God damn it, knock on wood. I hate saying this. I've yet to have any male shut off food. They don't shut off food. And, I have had so many breeders, something like, well, whoa, you're lucky. And I'm like, fuck, I guess I am lucky. But I just feel like no matter what it is you do with your animal, I feel like there has to be some sort of point, if not most of the time, of consistency, some sort of food. Like regardless if it's a smaller meal or not, being consistent with it, I feel like.
Is he in a separate rack from from the breeding females, or is he on the other side of the room, or are they near each other?
Males are with the males, females are with the females. So the males are completely, but they're right next to the females. Like I have a male rack, and then about 3.5 feet or 5 feet to the right of it is all my females. You know what I mean?
And that's a big thing I ask people too. So they're like, oh, my male's going off food. I'm like, where the females at? Oh, she's in the rack right next to him. So all the time, 24/7. Yeah. So he's got pheromones and shit all over the place. So he's just smelling vagina the whole damn time. And you want him to worry about some fucking rat, Dude. I'm a human being, and I've started myself over the possible pursuit of vagina. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, man, y'all like, yo, man, let's go to this diner. Nah, man, fuck this diner. I'm about to go get up in some, I mean, and they're like, but you said you haven't eaten in almost since this morning. I was like, so fucking what?
I'll be all right.
I'm about to eat some ass, and I'm like,
no, he's not.
Shit.
Oh,
so.
Man. Cool,
that's just not a priority for some of those males, man. It's like, and that's perfectly fine. But when you do get that male, when he comes on food, just move him to a different rack. You know what I mean? Completely clean out his cage, keep him away from the females as far as possible, and eventually he'll get back on. So.
But then that's another thing too. I'm like, if I ever do have a male who shuts off food, I'm not worried about it because the guy eats good. You know what I mean? So I feel like people who play with that line of like, like I heard recently last year, like, oh, I only male. There's like, okay, I got a male from somebody who's a proven breeder. And I'm like, hey, what is this guy eating? Oh, he only eats mice. I'm like, why does he only eat mice? Like, he's like, well, because like, let me give you a tip. Like a lot of breeders only keep their males on mice to keep them slender, to keep them here. And, and sure enough, ended up taking a rat for me. Right. But like, honestly, I'm just like, man, like if a snake, okay, if you have a snake who's on like a limited protein or a limited diet and it does go off and now it goes from limited diet to just not eating. Yeah. It's going to shrivel up. That's how snakes look like shit. But I don't know. It's to each their own. Like I said, I've never given my fucking males anything bigger than a small. They've all been a small, and smalls do come in different sizes. There's smaller smalls, then there's medium smalls, and the smaller closer. Right. So I look at the size of the rat before I feed it to my males all the time. I don't ever not feed them. I always feed these motherfuckers all the time.
Right. And I've killed males before, bro. Like my original black pastel het pie that started all of my like black pastel pie ringer stuff. He took food, he took it off. I was like, man, I still got to get him breeding and stuff like that. Him and a couple other males, that were key to some projects. And if like they wouldn't eat, but they were tied to a fucking rope if you put a rope in there, And I was like, okay, just sometimes, being anxious and honestly, the greed sometimes gets you. But now you got a dead fucking snake because breeding takes a lot. It takes a big toll on these animals. And people think that when they're just tied up and just sitting there, you know what I mean, love making and stewing in their own juices, there's not a lot of stuff going on. But dude, their organs are going into hyperdrive and shit too. Their metabolism is fucking kicking into high gear. Like they require more caloric intake when they're breeding, just like the females do. To produce follicles and to ovulate, they need that nutrition too. So like this is the time you should be bumping up their food, or they should be eating on a regular. And if they stop, there's something wrong. You know what I mean? So that's why having backups are important too. Like now, if I have a certain project male, I have a second and third option that I can do fine with. If you know what I mean. I don't do that. So whenever I produce clutches and I do like double recessive stuff, I keep multiple males back. I keep a first best, second best, and sometimes I keep a third best back,
Yeah.
So,
man, I told me one thing I was so happy I learned last year, bro, because I just started putting my mind to it. And I was like, man, I wouldn't want to do that because I hatched like a real beautiful pastel blade, 100% het clown. And of course I go kind of see, all right, what are they going for? A couple hundred, few hundred, not that much. But I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on real quick. I just read a pastel blade clown that gave me a clutch, which calculates over 10 grand. Like, why would I give this snake away for $300? Like, that don't make any sense. So even if I was like, hey, I'm going to charge a lot more than whatever the fuck the market price, it still don't make sense to sell. Like, to me personally, I don't have fucking 100 clutches yet. I don't think I want 100 clutches, to be honest, but I definitely want to get up to the like 50, 60s, right? Yeah. But bro, I ain't selling a female het no more. Especially if the visual's right there. If you could see it, how many crazy clown influence hets there are out there, and you're like, you even have to look twice. You're like, does this have clown? And it doesn't, bro. Why would you sell that thing as a het?
Dude, I got a couple of full rows, man, of single gene het clown females that would never leave here.
Right.
It's just too much. It's just too much power involved. So okay, a het clown female, right, an adult, probably run you, let's say $500, right?
A het clown female, like breeder ready?
Yeah, a breeder ready het clown female will only market about $500 max. That's what in most cases.
Good. That's a good
right
there.
And the people actually selling them too. So I can put that female right there year after year to a 2 and 3 gene clown and make a whole bunch of different stuff. And the worst snake out of that, I can make that money, So she's set in her ways right now. She knows what she likes to eat. She knows how my temperatures are. She knows how everything goes. She has the same cycle every year where she's producing stuff. She's ready to breed 7 months after she laid to the fucking T, and always produces eggs within like 2 to 3 days of each other every year.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna sell it for $500. Man, if you don't get out of here and shit too, I got a red stripe yellow belly clown in there. I could just make a bunch of red stripe yellow belly clowns just with her and sell them for a couple grand. You know what I mean? If I wanted to. So yeah, it's just so much power in those hets, man. Too. I got a het pied in there that will never leave here. Yeah. If I sell her, the most I can get from her was maybe $250 because it's me. You know what I mean?
I got back 2 het pied females last year too. I was like, I'll take them. I don't want. I'm not gonna sell for peanuts. Like, no.
She's gonna make 7 gene pied stuff the next couple of years.
There you go.
That I'm putting inchy and pinning it so that way you can see the pattern and I can kind of make a good guess of what it is. And I'm gonna let her go for, dude. If I need $150, brother, I'm in trouble.
For real.
If I get
thank you. I was like, damn. I was like, what am I gonna do with this $300? I'm like looking at Bellface's fucking 12 grand projects. So I'm like, ain't gonna help me get there,
Hey, me, you and I, we're friends, right? I consider you a friend, right?
Yeah, we're boys.
If you see me on fucking Morph Market trying to sell an animal, a breeder female for $150, I want you to call me and go, hey, bro, you good? Like, check on me. Like,
are you alive? Is this really Antoine?
Yeah, like unless I get it's different. Like if all of a sudden I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think I have like 5 adult pied females right now. That's actually legit pied. But if I get to a point where I got a whole rack of like multi-gene pied combo female, then she'll probably go if I need the space. You know what I mean? But right now, dude, you can stick a fucking het pied somewhere in this goddamn room. You know what I mean? And she's breeding for you. Don't sell a damn. Yeah, call me black, yo, aunt, bro. You straight over there, man? Like the gym is
I'll just start driving. Somebody robbed Antoine and broke into his morph market.
Yeah. Come through, holler at me. That goes the same thing for Jerome at No Limit, the same thing for Andrew at Redwood. Call me and check on me when I start getting rid of these breeder females like that, because most of the people here like knows my collection. I just posted a video showing most of my snakes here. Yeah, I got some visual clowns and pied stuff and some good recessors, but I don't have a whole rack full of them. I don't have 1,500 snakes. Right. You know what I mean? I got like 100. There's 150 in this room. So which is
I wanted to get to that next. So the amount of snakes you currently keep, and then what you're looking to hatch out clutch wise. Like how many clutches are you looking to hit this year, and what the goal is next year. And while you're doing that, I'm just gonna be taking a piss. I can hear everything you're saying.
Yeah, you can. So the goal earlier in the year, it seemed like I was gonna have 55, 60 clutches, but it seems like I'm probably gonna end up hitting close to 40. So a lot of females just right now just wasn't eating the way I wanted them to. I could probably go down a list. Let's see. My Desert Ghost project. I got Super Pastel Inchy Het Desert Ghost, Pastel Spectre Het Desert Ghost, Pinstripe Het Desert Ghost, Pastel Het Desert Ghost. So was that like 5 or 6 females for the Desert Ghost project? I was gonna put all of them to the Yellow Belly DG visual, but he's been acting crazy, so I'm waiting for my enhancer Het Clown, possible Het G Stripe from Billy. And by the time he gets here and gets out of quarantine, hopefully they're a little bit bigger, and I can have that. That'll be my backup, and I'll be fine having him as a backup for a handsome DG project. So now I got a bunch of possible, Het Clowns and Het G Stripes down the road that I can work with, because I didn't plan on selling any females anyway from any of that stuff. A lot of the visual stuff I'm holding back. So a good problem to have is accidentally making some some enhancer G Stripe clowns, so that's a good problem to have. So
take that problem.
Yeah, for real, man. So those females, and then most of my clown stuff, so my pastel Het Clowns and single gene Het Clowns and visual clown females, I'm just building a bunch of female and male breeding stock of Hurricane stuff. I got the Hurricane Het Clown here, and he's gonna put in work this season. So I'm holding back so many female, even the ones that I'm making pos hats to, I'm keeping the female Hurricane possible Het Clowns, because it's still a fucking hurricane, so I can do so much other stuff with that, add asphalt to it, and a bunch of other crazy stuff, and like make some super hurricane, super asphalts down the road, so
who first influenced you with the Hurricane? Like, where did you first see that?
The first time I saw the Hurricane was Hans Winter. I was just Facebook friends with him, overseas guy who was really like, into the project. And then I saw Levance. He had like a lot of the Hurricane Clown stuff, and I was like, "Oh, he's doing some crazy stuff with it." I'm trying to, I think about hitting him up about that pastel lesser spot nose Hurricane that he's got on Morph Market, but I don't want to call Levance until I got the money in hand, because so that's
if you really want what you want, that's the way to do it.
Exactly too. So like I call like a lot of like the bigger names, like when I call Justin, when I call Ozzy, when I call Levance, I'm not trying to do no 6-month payment plan for them dudes and stuff too. You know what I mean? Especially because I don't have a relationship with them personally. You know what I mean? So like I will never come at them like that, like I want the money in hand, or at least, boom, 30 days, here's half the money, and I'll get that too. So but Levance is on that list of people that like people complain about their prices are too high and shit like that. The same way they do with Ozzy and things like that too. And even I make fun and make jokes of it too. Whatever I see like an Ozzy advertisement, I'm like, oh, that's $5,000. You click on it, boom, $5,000. You know what I mean? But you know what you're getting, and the quality behind it and shit too. So like whenever I talk about those higher tier breeders, I call it going to the Gucci store. So
what's that part in Don't Be a Medicine Society?
Yeah,
when they're in the liquor store and the guy goes, you don't buy.
It's
simple as that, bro.
Yeah,
you
exactly too.
So come on, bro. What the fuck?
Yep. So if I have an idea in mind what I want, I'm not gonna let the price off rip kill me about. I mean, yeah, obviously, if there's like 10 15 breeders with this same type of thing, and I look at those and they all reputable, and I can call the other guy and his is almost $1,500 more, that's kind of ridiculous. But in most cases, it's not like that, because everybody's staying within the market, So, but if I have a project in mind, like I said, I'm looking for some visual asphalt clown females this season. If they pop up on Morph Market and I see them, I'm fucking buying it. I'm not going to try to fucking come down off of $200 and $300 for this snake when somebody else can snatch it up. And I'm sure somebody else wants to, wants to do the same thing. So I'm gonna just take my lumps and realize that it's a long-term investment, and I'll get the money back on the back end. Like the biggest issue people have with animal breeding is the whole microwave thing. I'm going to get stuff instantly. And the same thing when I was breeding dogs, people used to be like, man, I could just take this, any kind of dog this way and breed it. And I got it for a deal. I got this dog for here. And then, you never get babies from it. And now you're in a hole. So you got to realize that there is a risk with it's animals. So not eating, getting sick, dying out of the blue, it just happens. So it's a risk reward thing. But when you get the quality and stuff you want and you're sticking to your guns on a project, it'll reward you down the road, So
the ball python game, when you get to a certain level, is a player's game. Like,
yeah, you have
like,
to, man.
It's fucking, it's like, you know, Mind Quest. Like, you just got to start putting things into play. And on top of doing, you know, keeping your fucking projects in check, you got to build those relationships. Like you got, like you said, you got to learn from people who've been doing it, right? And that goes for many different things. You know, if it's rather how to fucking get my snake to hatch to hitting certain combos. But you ain't gonna learn if you're just Mr. Fuck, I'm doing this on my own. I got the money. You know what I mean? Like, bro, come on, stop. You know, how many people try doing that?
Right. And now, so as far as like all the other things, so a lot of people go, well, what do you really do for a living? Because I know you don't read year round, and I haven't seen you sell a snake yet and stuff like that. So I'm out here in California because I work at the Navy base, China Lake. I work on the if you ever seen the Marine Corps' jet that hovers, the Harrier. I work on that plane, so I've been doing that for 20 years. So I moved out here for a good job, and it's great money. And I was like, man, this is a lot of money for this job. What's the catch? And then the catch is there's really no China Lake out here. It's just desert. So there's no China. The word China Lake is like sarcasm and shit. So it's just fucking. You know, it's nothing. It's really nothing here as far as like the town, and the whole town is built around the base. You know, so I was just like. To keep from being bored, you got to have stuff you do. So that's my primary source of income. And right now I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to make, you know, the snake business overlap everything. So between the making money from YouTube and the lives and merchandise sales, dude, I made more merchandise this year than I did selling snakes last year. It's so crazy.
Good for you, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, bro, that's everything comes with that, you know, like, and dude, the merch thing isn't, you know, it's not too much fun. I'm not gonna lie. The merch thing could become a pain in the ass. But at the end of the day, it's if it comes as a pain in the ass, it's because so many people want it. And man, like, it was those shirts these shirts I sold. By the way, shout out to everyone who fucking supported me and bought one. Man, those things just went, and it was hard to fucking keep up with certain things. I'm not a retail guy, yo. You know, I ain't never did retail. Maybe I manage retail, but I ain't never fucking been in retail. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So either way, like I said, I appreciate so many grinds, and I'll tell you what, man, and I'll vert back to this guy as much as I have to, but man, so much of my hustle in this came from Miguel, bro. Like, I learned so much of his hustle through what he does, the YouTube, shirts, networking, fucking just the quality of snakes that he makes. And he doesn't even sell expensive stuff. Like, he doesn't even tax fools at all. He makes everything feasible to buy and to work with. What else? What more do you want out of someone? There's nobody else doing that. There's no other breeder. And this is why he, you know, a lot, you know, people fake like they like him, but they probably frown behind his back, is because they don't have the balls to do shit like that. You know, they want to maximize on every snake and just tax. And you could do that. I mean, it's your snake. You can price the snake whatever you want. It's up to you. So, but shout out to Miguel. He's just that guy to put people on, and he's put me on plenty of times. So.
And you know you're doing things right in the game when people hide their projects from you and stuff, because they know you can they know you're probably doing the same thing. And if you're further ahead of them on there, they can just be like, hey, how much? And then you'd be like, nah, it's not for sale. And then they'd be like, oh, really? slide you the little note and shit. And you'd be like, God damn it. So that's why I'm not shopping up with Miguel. He'd be like, hey man, you working on blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh no.
Hey, I want to know, because I don't think I've ever asked you, but what was some of the stuff you picked up off of Miguel?
So recently I got a bongo female, proven breeder bongo female, and that's a joint project with myself and Cichlids ball pythons.
All right.
Then I got two sisters. So one's a possible red striped clown, and then one's just a regular clown. I got both of those, and they'll be going this fall. And then I got a red striped yellow belly clown male from him. Is that it? I have like a whole row. Yeah. So red striped yellow belly clown.
Floss something. You don't want flossing? You don't want to floss something real quick?
Dude, I don't have on pants, so if I stand up and shit, you know what I mean? Like,
I want you to knock over the laptop. Fuck.
Yeah, shit, man. Like, I mean, you know what a super black pastel look like, bro. You don't need to see my knob. Super Panther. I grabbed my so this is probably my favorite snake right here. I posted it on Facebook yesterday. So
nice.
A lot of people think that they're like, oh, is that a stranger? No, it's a pastel mahogany het clown, possible het pied.
Yeah,
I got her from a breeder circle or whatever. So she'll go. I'm gonna see what happens with this red stripe clutch.
that thing's fire.
She'll end up going to a red stripe pied het clown eventually. So I'm gonna just like not rush her as far as getting her size up, and that way, if I have a visual pied to her, it'll be better eyes to prove out off rip. So the goal is to get red stripe mahogany clown pies.
That thing's fucking crispy, bro.
And if I hit that, bro, we go on to Sizzler.
Yeah,
like
we're gonna shut it down.
It's a party after that.
They're gonna kick us out.
So man, and she's been eating. I got her from a breeder circle like early in the fall too, man, and she just been killing it. Like never misses a meal. Dope snake to hang out with and shit too. She's only bit me like 3 times, so that's always cool. So, dude, I was on the podcast one day and I showed like one of my meanest snakes, and she like almost missed my face. I was like, and I like threw her. Get your ass out of here. Head movement. So
yeah,
hold on.
I got one mean ass fucking ball python, and of course it came from Miguel. and that's it. All my other snakes are fucking great. They don't do shit to me, but yeah, I have one mean ass snake.
Yeah. Oh, too. I wanted to let everybody know too. The other one I got from Miguel, that's the one I had to escape last night too. Oh, yeah. So a lot of people, I'm in a lot of groups of people like, I don't see how people do escape. Sometimes you're doing 101 things. You're on the phone and you might leave with tongue crack too much. So his little ass pushed this bitch open and got out. But I found him right away because I'm smart enough to have cameras in my room.
Yeah.
So all I got to do is scroll back to my camera the time I was in there, and I literally just watched the time lapse, and he was sitting on top of the rack.
Perfect.
Fucking done. So actually, I grabbed him real quick. Hold on.
Damn, man. It's never fun losing a ball python.
So.
All right.
So this guy right here.
Oh shit! Look at that.
So look at those sides, man. And the cool thing about this guy is he's from the same clutch as one of Harrison Wang's Coral Glow combo males, I believe. And his is already breeding. So I was like, holy shit, dude, So I haven't even checked him to see if he's what those peens look like. Nah, he's still on the young side. So I mean, I didn't even have plans with him anyway until like the fall or like the winter time. So he's just growing slowly. He's about 400 grams right now. So yeah. He's so, and then I wish he wasn't like eating right now because whenever you get escapees for some reason, you put them back in the tub, they eat right away. I don't know why. I don't know why that's a thing. Maybe to them it's like comfort food or something. I don't know. I
think they're just because they're already kind of on the prowl. I think they kind of know they're out of their element. They're just in like ready. They're like ready to fucking rock.
So
and I've noticed that too with every snake I fucking found that escape. It's never fun. Shit sucks.
Yeah, and then like the other two, one is like on the cusp. It may be like a low quality like red stripe or whatever too, and he could have easily sold it as like a possible red stripe, and like a female red stripe clown is about $3,000. You know what I mean? So. But Miguel, he has it where if he's not going to try to get that money off of you if he can't say, even with a bunch of the experts looking at it, it's 100%. You know what I mean? So he sold it to me as a regular female clown.
Right. Oh, okay.
So I win either way. You know what I mean? If she doesn't prove out, I only paid that, and now she's almost an adult. So now, this couple $100 female clown right now would probably resell for almost like $1,500, $2,000. So.
Crazy. Let me ask you this: what's the youngest male you've seen that you were able to get breeding? Like, do you have a lot of luck with the younger males, like the first within a first year, or just a years old with that?
So my 2 youngest, I have albino Spider Mojave. I got from 2 seasons ago. He started locking at 350 grams and produced 4 clutches that year. And then my banana clown headaxanthic before he got killed. I'll talk about that. A lot of people know that in the comments because they all follow me too. But my banana clown had axanthic. He was about the same, about 350 grams. But I check them. If they got sperm plugs and real dark purple peens, I'll put them in there and try and boom, lock right away. But I got the banana clown male as a 50% head axanthic, and I ended up paying, like 4 years ago, I think I paid $700 for him. So, banana clown, hundreds of head axanthic male should run you today close to almost $1,600, $1,700, So, but I proved them out with my axanthic, and he made one visual axanthic, banana axanthic head clown male. So what happened with him is I put him with my 4,000 gram head clown female, and I pulled the tub up to check on him, and she yanked real fast because she got scared, and she ripped his hemipenes out. He bled to death.
Oh damn, that happened to whoa. Oh man, yeah. That's a real life thing. I had somebody on the Unfiltered Reptiles podcast. I've talked about this before. James Opdale, bro. He told us, he's had a lot of heartbreaking fucking scenarios with chondros, and we were going through the stories, and sure enough, like, dude, we're talking about a fucking 20-gram project, something just really expensive, right? So sure enough, bro, that they're locked, dangling, and he noticed the fucking water bowl was really filthy, like full of shit, and he was like, and he, can't just leave it. So he went in there, opened the glass, got the water. The female fucking freaked out, took off, took the fucking male's dick with him, and he had to put it down, bro. Same thing. Yep. You couldn't, nothing you could do, bro. Terrible. Just terrible. Imagine that. So also, guys, that's why another thing too, just, when you see animals locked and, and I could take a fucking page out of this book too, it's like, just leave them alone. Like, like as much as you do want to take pics and whatnot, like, just be careful. Like, don't fucking. I've seen people like mess with them while they're locked, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, just don't touch them. Like, leave them alone. Like, they're fucking. Like, leave them alone. Like, you want to get touched by someone?
Normally when I check stuff now, I have my phone because most of the times on Instagram, so I have it like vertically because it matches the tub, and I'll pull it, and I'm recording right away, and then those pictures you see get posted aren't pictures; those are screenshots from the video. Because I don't want to open back up and keep doing that because, I lost a valuable male that way. And, if I showed the video and the picture of the clown pie stuff, if she rips his dick off, I'm fucked.
Right.
If she rips his hemipenes to smithereens, I actually rhymed. I didn't even mean to do that. Hemipenes to smithereens. Shit. Put a beat on, yo. Let's get it. No.
All right, it's time for the wrap.
Rip the hemipenes to smithereens. All right, but that happens too. So I mean, that's a lot of money down the drain. So you got to be careful with that. Yeah, you want to show it off, and yeah, it's exciting, but I mean, the animal welfare is first and foremost. So
that's what it comes down to, man. And like, you got so many people who want to be right or wrong with like, certain ways of keeping or how you feed, breed, whatever the fuck. And, at the end of the day, you should be focusing on what's best for the animal. Like, it's not about proving people wrong. And like, that's, I was so against the whole, like, bio enclosure type thing. And, at the end of the day, if you're keeping one or two or regardless, if you want to put that much into it, yeah, it is doable, but I mean, you're just adding steps that could potentially lead to something that you don't want to have to put a chondro or an arboreal snake with. I mean, if you could eliminate fucking things, like, why not? Like, okay, how many mothers, and I hate to use this as a terrible example, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but how many moms fucked around and like continue to drink, smoke cigarettes, or do drugs while they're pregnant, and they still had a kid and the kid was fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean? But even though that doesn't happen for most cases, the kid has some sort of effect. But like, why even do that? Just eliminate, like, just stop. Like, don't party, just have the kid. And then if you want to go back to partying, go ahead, which you shouldn't do anyways. I don't know why I thought of that example. I'm really great mothers out there. I have a wonderful mother. I don't know why I use that example. So if any moms out there are like thrown back by that, I'm sorry. It's the first fucking thing that came to mind. But anyways.
Yeah, but fucking that was a big loss. But like I said, it's a learning thing. So bad shit happens, learn from it, make sure it doesn't happen again.
So let's talk about like some crazy lessons you've learned, and I also want to know the back you know, the history of this, of like, you know, guns, bro. Like you know your shit with guns, like to the next level of it. Like it's crazy. I've seen the shit you've shot and it's nuts. Let's talk about how you got into that and what led to you being, you know, such a gunsmith.
So I didn't I've never shot a gun until I got into the military. Like never even like held one. You know, I've been around like shootings and stuff like that too, but it's just something I never was really interested in. So when I went to the Marine Corps, the first gun they give you was an M16. So, you know, in the civilian world, it's the AR, the Armor Light platform and whatever brand you're using and stuff like that. So to me, to get better at shooting, because I sucked at it, you know, like I didn't like the recoil. I thought it was too much on it and things like that. And I really, you know, it just really bothered me. So what I did is I looked at some like bigger guns, some bigger magazines, like 7mm, 308, 7.62, you know, 50 cal and stuff like that. When you go and get used to shooting stuff like that, AR platform ain't shit, you know, because essentially, you know, a 5.56 or a 2.23 round is just a freaking high power 22.
Right.
That's all it is. So, you know, it just learning how they work. And I'm like, the nerd in me wants to know how. I don't know, like, I get past the do. I like the why as well. So I want to know how things work. I want to know the machinery behind it and, you know, why it does the way it does. So the best thing about that is, you know, you can strip the thing apart to almost nothing and completely build it from scratch. Right. So like, you know, just practice and just kind of building ARs like for the past 20 years and just, you know, taking breaks here and there. I realized that when I moved to California, a lot of people in this part of California is like probably the most conservative part of the state. The county and everything in. So everybody's here pro Second Amendment, and which makes it a little bit better for me because living in the South and like being around guns now from the military, you know, that's a love of mine. So a lot of people, when they thought the world was going to end and they thought like, you know, like right now, everybody's going like when Obama was in, the Democrats going to take our guns. Can you fix mine for me? You know, you know how people get and stuff too. I mean, there's some truth to it, but you know, there's some people that's always overboard with it too. So I started like teaching people, you know, how to clean their stuff the right way and how to break it down and fix it and stuff like that too. So it just kind of started from that, and I moved on to a bunch of different platforms. But ARs are still my favorite. You know, it's like I shoot those all the time, and so just kind of repairing ARs and building them from scratch and taking a raw lower receiver and getting it milled out and then just kind of putting it together. But with California, once you do that, you got to go through all this other legal stuff too. Like you got to call the Department of Department of Justice. They give you a serial number. You put the serial number on there. You turn it in to some asshole that runs a gun shop out of their house, and you got to pay them $50. They hold it for 10 days from you, and they can go, hey, you know, your background came kind of messed up, so you can't get this gun. I'm like, but I just built this. I built it myself. So how you going to take my shit that I just built for myself? But luckily for me personally, I work on a base, and I have a top secret security clearance. So I know my background check's not going to come back funky, you know, so. So right. I do like a lot of builds and stuff like that too. And you have to get it done the right way. So I do it the right way.
I mean, that's one thing you got to do the right way too. There's not much, you know, room for error when it comes to that.
Yeah, you're fucked if not. You're fucked.
Plain and simple.
You get caught with some shit and you violate some rule in California that real quick, the politicians themselves and the law enforcement don't even know all the rules because they're changing all the time. You know, it's always some legal gray area. So this is one industry when you get into that you have to have access to a good lawyer who knows what they're talking about. You know, exactly. That's the thing about it. Like you have to make sure you got a beast that can interpret the law.
You got to know your laws with that shit. That's just, there's no room. Like I said, you can't fuck with that, period. Like you just got to know. And that's why I was like, God damn, bro, like you're beyond somebody who keeps guns. Like guns is your like that's another, like you don't fuck around when you say if you're into something, you go to the next level with it. Mm-hmm. And you can tell with the gun, because another guy I look up to with the guns he keeps was Brock Wagner. Have you seen the shit?
Right. Yeah, man.
That motherfucker don't play, bro. You know what I mean? And like, I've always been into guns. I just never been around a lot of them. You know what I mean? So, which we need to talk about that, you know, off camera. I need to get some
But as far as the aspect of like building and modifying and cool stuff, because everybody nowadays wants a Call of Duty gun. Everybody plays Warzone. It's like, man, can you? Most of my time, I'm like, hey man, could you show me how to make one that's just like this? I'm like, all right, cool. I'll send you a list of what to get or whatever like that. And as long as you got your stamp lower, whatever, we can legally build it together. You know what I mean? And shit like that. So I mean, and everybody likes that. But my biggest love of firearms though is safety.
Huge.
Like I take people out shooting like all the time, and out here in the desert, it's just like you can like your backyard's your firing range for the most case. But a lot of people who don't know anything about guns and stuff like that too. The one cool thing I do like about California is before you can legally own a firearm, they make you take a test, and that's like the bare minimum, because if you can't pass that, you shouldn't be allowed to like Google guns if you can't pass that fucking test.
Yeah, you shouldn't even play Grand Theft Auto.
So and then it's just the safety rules and stuff you can and can't do in this state too. But I take them out there, we go over that, and before we even fire one thing down range, I make sure they're not flagging the people to the left and right of them. Their muzzle always staying down range, and that they know how to disassemble their firearm, they know how to load the magazine, and they know where the safety devices are. Right. So that aspect of it, man, is paramount, man, because you're not gonna fucking Chris Kyle me on the fucking range and shoot me by accident or whatever too. We're out there shooting this, no fucking way. Like one thing I say to everybody I go shooting, I go, hey, look to the left of you, look to the right of you. We're all going home in one piece with the same amount of holes we have in us right now. So and this is like since it's so life or death, if you do something wrong after we talk about this all day, and you're flagging somebody and you're pointing a muzzle towards somebody, I'm knocking your face to the fucking earth. Right. Don't get offended by it. Don't get mad about it, because I potentially just saved someone's life. So if I knock you to the fucking concrete and you're missing a couple teeth, that's better than you putting a 45 through someone's skull. And now I gotta explain to somebody why their husband or why their boyfriend or why their kid isn't coming back home.
Facts. It's not a game. Not with that shit.
Yeah. So I take that shit to heart. Because I've seen accidental discharges in training. I've seen people pretend to fake deep throat a rifle and blow their fucking brain out.
Yeah. Oof.
You know what I mean? And like I've seen like
story you told me and Elsham when fucking Lawrence is my Elsham, by the way. But anyways, me and Elsham, how he put the wrong bullet. Remember there was a wrong size bullet? And
right. So
do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So right now my favorite caliber is 300 Blackout. And first of all, that's just a fire ass name. Can we agree that 300?
Really?
Right. That's a fucking dope name. The blackout make you black out. You know what I mean? So, but it's real similar with everything else, the lower receiver and the parts to like the regular like 5.56 or 2.23 AR platforms. But if you try to put the wrong round in the wrong chamber, there's one way you could put in where if you put a 300 Blackout into a 5.56 and it does seat and you fire it off,
right,
the whole thing's going to explode. So I've seen people put the wrong like 300 Blackout in the 5.56 chamber and try to fire it off, and it still cooked off. The metal receiver exploded, the barrel split in half, and his face split in half too because he was sheathed into his rifle like that. Too. So
the many faces of death type shit.
So whenever I deal with different caliber stuff, I make sure like on my workbench, they never ever see each other. The magazines never cross-contaminate each other. You know what I mean? So it's just where I have them like marked. I have like, some of my barrels coated the right way so you don't mix stuff like that. So
terrible. And that's the last thing you want to experience or go through again is watching something like that.
Yeah. So and that makes you, and I'd rather be super OCD about something, that I haven't experienced, but you and I both know that all safety rules are written in blood. Right. Right. So that's just the thing too, man. Yeah, I'm going out shooting today, man. I just started getting into like building Glocks and stuff like that too. So I had a couple people kind of show me how to do it and things, and I fucking completely fucked up this recent one that I did, but so because it's fucking plastic, so you fucked that thing up. So the two I watched a couple of friends of mine like watch them do theirs, and it came out great, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. So now I'm gonna go out in the desert today and hopefully don't embarrass myself in front of my friends with this bit. Right. And then, but you just get better at it though, So it's just a whole new world. Like I could write a book on like all the little small nuances that you have to do when you build AR platforms, and now I have to do the same thing with these. So,
what's the biggest, most powerful gun you've ever shot?
The most powerful gun, as far as caliber wise.
You shot one recently from pretty far away.
Yeah. So the biggest,
like,
right. So the biggest one, so probably like 50 caliber BMG. That's like not as far as like a machine gun or something like that too. So Barrett makes a 50 cal semi-automatic cartridge fed sniper rifle. So instead of having to cock it every time and seat the barrel in there, so bolt action, you put one in, you seat it, fire it, then eject it, seat it in. But they make a cartridge fed box magazine with like 5 rounds in there. So you can shoot 5 50 cal rounds and the barrel comes into the slide to you. Doom, 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 doom. So I fired that. But in California, the 50 cal BMG is illegal. So what the Barrett company did is said, okay, bitch, y'all want to play? So we're going to make a round that's like a fucking butt hair smaller than that. And it's a 416. So that's single shot, bullpup action in the back too. And so on my Instagram, if you go to Coach_Antoine, that's the one that I posted on there. You got to look like almost a year back. And that thing's got fired. So yeah, since I've been in California, so 416 Barrett is probably the biggest round. And that thing, and it doesn't hurt your shoulder, it hurts your taint when you shoot that thing. Like if you didn't go to the freaking bathroom beforehand, make sure you do, because that thing's gonna make you feel like your asshole just fell out. So
Jesus.
So that thing, it's powerful. And that shot, that was a mile steel target at a mile. So hit it first try.
How often would you say you go shooting? Every day almost?
Most weekends I'm free. So
Okay.
because it's always just like, and most of the time now it's not really for fun because it's an ammo shortage everywhere. So it's just like doing some barrel seasoning, and whenever you do a new build, you want to like run a couple hundred rounds through stuff, and make sure it's a reliable thing. So whenever I'm doing like a everyday carry gun, I put about 200 rounds through it just to make sure it's reliable, because when you had the point you needed, the last thing you want is a misfire or a misfeed when you're in a gunfight. So,
right.
Can you imagine rolling out your bed like Action Jackson? I just aged myself with Action Jackson. But anyway, you're on the fucking bed.
That's a good reference. Hey, the Low Down Dirty Shame story, though, bro. I wanted to hug you. That's one of
that shit was fire, right?
One of my favorite Wayne Brothers productions, bro, is that movie right there. Low Down Dirty Shame. Check it out. It's a 90s classic.
Yeah.
Bro, I love that movie. I remember I was like 9 years old renting that movie, and I just liked it. It was wild. It's not something a 9-year-old should watch, but like, it's also getting into a bunch of other shit at that age.
Dude, whenever I put on dress clothes and I freshly shave my head, I'm playing that music in the background and shit when I'm like smoothing my head, throwing my suit on.
This is such a classic, bro. Yeah, it's a good movie, man. But yeah,
being super blue collar, man, I very rarely get to wear a suit, but when I fucking do, we stepping out, brother. We fucking
you get nice real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, man, just I just do that, and those are all my loves, man. And working on base, breeding, selling snakes, consultation, safety training, and firearms instruction, managing MMA fighters, running the MMA gym, running the fight promotion of 559 fights, and being the cut man and the hand wrapper for California Cage Wars. Those are all my income sources right now. So
damn, you're doing it, man. And in Cali, you gotta have multiple incomes like that, bro, in Cali. But like
you got to, period, man. Like there's no person out there with there's no wealthy person out there with one source of income. Everybody's got 4 6 streams of income and stuff too. And that's just how it works. And you help, you use your best one to build on your others, and you make them all thrive. So and expensive as shit is here, you have to, bro. Like,
Now, you've been in Cali for how long now?
10 years, man. It'd be 11 next month. I got here April 2010.
But you might be dipping at some point. You said you at some point want to go back to the South or something, right?
Yeah. So here, once my youngest is out of the house, and I'm done, doing all my duties with that, as far as like child support and shit like that. The job on the base at that point, the way I'm going shouldn't be relevant anymore. So I don't need that main 9 to 5 anymore, because everything else is doing so well. And then just the money I'm putting aside and the money I have from a lot of these projects I'm doing, like I can literally put a down payment on a big piece of land for a fraction of what a house would cost in California. So I don't really see the point. If I can do fine, if I can do great in California, I can fucking beast it in North Carolina.
like New York City and California. Like, if you could make a career, I'm talking about a thriving career at either one of those places. Anywhere in Cali too, because everywhere is expensive in Cali. It don't matter. Like Cali. I mean, there's some spots like, you know, where, like you said, where you're at, and like where there's not a lot of fucking residential shit. Yeah, that's a cheap area, but then like not people don't for the most part come to Cali for that. People come to Cali to be close to shit. You know what I mean? Like San Diego, for instance.
Yeah,
San Francisco taxed. Oh my god, the list goes on, bro.
Yeah, I've been like when I see homeless people like in San Francisco, I'm like, dude, you can move to Ridgecrest and be doing better than me. Like,
like, most part, homeless people in San Francisco are like hippies who are just fucking. They like getting fucked up. They're just like, you know, they eat good too.
Yeah, for real. So I'm just like, man, this is like, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, even just moving to California gave me a huge anxiety attack, and I see people who live in San Diego. And I'm like, dude, what do you do in your off time? It's like work. It's like I live in a studio apartment and my rent's like $2,000 a month. I'm like, fuck, dude. Yeah, it's fucking, it's insane. So just going back east and stuff too, and it's just all the things I want to do as far as like I'm gonna have my own building, and hopefully by then I have my black belt of jiu-jitsu. It's easy enough to open a jiu-jitsu gym there. I'm not gonna train fighters anymore, but just running like a jiu-jitsu gym. And like still managing and then doing consulting for a bunch of like MMA gyms. It's a lot easier to do now with the technology we have, where I'm a phone call away or video chat, and I can fly back and forth to different places when it's time to show up for my fighters. So I can do all of that, just, you know, paying, you know, a $600 a month mortgage, then then, you know, living in California and, you know, all my bills are like 5 digits a month.
Yeah, your utilities are $600.
Yeah, for real, you know. So
I have to, bro. I'm getting taxed on my. I've been getting taxed on the STG&E here, but like for the most part, I keep my incubators running like all year round. Like you know, I have stuff breeding throughout the year too. So, but yeah, man, it's just not cheap here at all.
Dude, we're at 100% like level now, dude. We're at 70 likes and 70 people watching. That's fucking badass. Say
that one time. Repeat that.
We're at 100%, actually more than 100% like level right now, because we had 70 watching at one time with 70 likes.
That's what I'm talking about. Mad respect. Because dog, it's about the guest. It's about the guest.
I've never seen that before, bro. Like ever.
Listen. The day I become, I feel the day MJ becomes that fucking cornball, that fucking just that Mr. This is what people want to see. I guarantee the subs will go up, but ain't gonna never happen, bro. So people will continue to watch and just don't subscribe. Right. And listen, I'm cool with that, bro. I mean, listen, don't give me no fake fucking. I don't want no fake support. You know, either subscribe or don't. I'm cool with it.
You know,
a lot. The likes means a lot.
Dude, when you're doing that, so you know what they say the average watch to subscriber ratio is, right? So how many people that subscribe to versus that actually watch a video? It's only like 10%, bro.
10%, yeah, but I think
that's so when you have 100% fucking, like now it's 104 or 5% like likes to people watch. That's crazy, man. So shout out to you, man. Like this platform, bro. I'm gonna be before we get on to any other shit, I don't know how long you plan on being on here, but man, I just wanted to say to you, man, I want to shout you out because, like, dude, like you, along with like a bunch of other people, but you in particular right now, you gave so many other people a shine that I heard about before, or like I've seen like posts here and there where people bring up their names, but like seeing them on video and a lot of times those people never been on video for the first time, and they come out there and they're coming out of their shell. I watch them throughout the podcast, like open up. First, they kind of start like this. And then you start kind of, you know, getting to know them, and then their chest starts to open up a little bit. And then first they go, well, you know, first I was doing this. And then now, hour into the podcast, they're like, well, guess what, motherfucker? This was good.
Oh, yeah, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, people don't want to have to worry about what they say. And, bro, people hear how I talk. And I'm going to keep doing me at the end of the day. I don't care, bro. I mean, I care. I care about... Yeah. I care about making the guest happy because I do fuck with people who come and watch this. But if my guests are happy, that's my number one thing. Because the guest is about the guest, bro. I want you guys to keep coming back. You don't think we're gonna have multiple rounds of this shit, bro?
Yeah.
On this show a lot, Antoine. I fuck with you heavy, bro. So you know, and people are loving it. So I appreciate, dude. I appreciate all those likes were from the people who watched. and it was for you, Antoine. So thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's all I give a fuck about is show the respect to the fucking guest. I don't care if you subscribe, but if you like the guest, like that shit. Don't make it about me. Like the guest, bro. That's what I'm talking about. That's
yeah. So yeah, you like people like you, man. Like you just give so many people a voice out here, and to show that there's a lot of people who still in the hobby who all they have is a negative look on what's going on here. You know what I mean? Like everybody's like, I'm out for myself. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I don't care about anybody else. And that's not the way to do it anymore, man. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to help other people thrive in this community. You know, because that's putting more eyes on it, and that's putting more money out there in the hobby for us to do things like that too. You know, like freaking if you have a particular project that only you're working on, that means you have a finite amount of stuff that you can sell and produce over the years. You know what I mean? But then everybody else that has it too, like you guys can start expounding, building on these projects and going back and forth and making things better. Nothing makes a person better thrive more in the business than competition. No matter what it is, if you're the only act in town,
healthy competition,
right?
Bro.
Healthy competition. If you're the only act in town doing it a certain way, you get complacent. You know, like I'm not the only MMA gym in this town. There's 2 other gyms in this town that we sometimes cycle the same people out through them too. But if I stayed the same way and did the same stuff over and over again, and I didn't have people fighting on TV on Combate Americas, if I didn't got my gym fight on Bellator, if I didn't have people trying out for Ultimate Fighter and things like that. And they'll be like, okay, what's the difference between you, Antoine? Like you being a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, then the black belt in jiu-jitsu. Why should I go to his gym, who's been around longer, who's higher ranked than you, and what he's doing with his fighters? Well, my answer to that is you have the option of going there, but this is what's different from me, and this is what's different from him. Now you go to both and choose. You know what I mean? Because when people ask me, well, why should I get something from High Desert Pythons than freaking Ernie over in Rosemont, at Infinite Scales? You both have a lot of the same projects. So what's the difference between me and you? It's a big difference. He has his project. I have my projects. You're going to get quality from both of us, but you got to know what each of us bring to the table. And you can either pick one or the other, or fucking don't be a bitch and pick both. Spend your money.
Spend your money. That's what I'm talking about.
That money.
So, I mean, bro, at the end of the day, man, listen, I was probably mostly hyped about bringing you on because I just know, like, sometimes just being real is written on the wall when you see somebody. And you're very genuine, bro. And, I guess I don't know if too many people didn't know that about you, but if they know now. If they're watching this, they know how real you are and how fucking everything you speak from is from the heart and experience, Experience is the best teacher, bro. And let me ask you one thing. What's one thing you feel like you're learning the most about being in this industry?
Well, actually, it comes from you. It's actually it's a podcast that early on when I first heard of you and started listening to you, you said one thing, and what got me into social media that I always used to, life period, and having Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, things like that, it used to always bother me when there was a thumbs down on my video, or somebody was talking shit about me, or somebody was like, oh, don't fuck with him. Because there's people whispering about trying to cut my shine out too. And you said this a long time ago. It's probably a year ago. You said, if everybody likes you, you're phony.
Yeah. It's not real life.
If everybody likes you, dude, I heard that shit. And the meme Weebay from The Wire, he'd be like, oh, shit like that. Yo, that's how I did. I was like,
the guy who falls back on his helmet.
He was like, oh shit. And I literally did that watching it. I was like, it's such a simple concept, but it's so true, man. Even I don't think there's ever been a president with above 80% approval rating ever.
Yeah.
Even at their height, it just doesn't happen, man. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to fuck with you. You know what I mean? But the people who do follow you, support you, and fuck with you, those are the ones that you should be catering to. You shouldn't be trying to find out why the 2% doesn't like you. Who gives a fuck about the 2%? Because it might not even nothing to do. It might just be they don't like you because it's you. If everybody was doing the same exact thing and you were copying everybody else and you were an option, those people would never support you, and for one reason or another, because
you'll get that politics support, that thank you for following me support.
Yeah, because maybe
top 10 accounts.
Right. Maybe because you started at the same time with them and you surpassed them, you know, you got on that Levance elevator and you went up and shit like that too. A lot of people don't like that, man. There's people I started with around the same time that we had the same amount of followers almost too. And you know, they've gone through the roof, and I don't feel like they left me behind, but they, you know, they're ahead of me on followers and subscribers, things like that. And I got some catching up to do. And you know the differences between them and me? They have more videos out there, they put more content out there, they're working harder at it. So the thing they're working harder at, they're doing better than. Yeah. That makes fucking sense, right? Yeah. you know,
the proof is in the hard work. Like, that's why at the end of the day, like, you know, content is content, you know, like, and it's work, you know, and oh man, anyone who puts stuff out there on a consistent basis. And I had Shane out here, Shane from Small Town, and bro, Shane's been on this level, and I give him so much props because he hasn't, his fluctuation hasn't been down. It's been up. It's going up, and he's building crazy relationships, building his own community. And, you know, I fuck with Shane because Shane's somebody who's barely got in here like a year and a half ago, maybe, like not that long, but he's building that organic platform. You know, I know I will bet a lot of money saying that Shane did not buy one of his followers or any of that shit, even though there's so many people out there. And I'll tell you what, this early, you got to understand, there's so many people that put that front out there in the beginning, like 7,000, 50,000, 20,000 followers, break 100 likes. Like, that was suspect, bro. God, there's so much. And that always stood out to me. I was like, I will never to this day fucking do a reach around or suck a dick for a follow. And I'll never pay for a follow ever. But it's crazy.
But the thing about that is, though, you can tell the suspect followings when you see a person that has 25,000 subscribers but averages 5 likes or something, or 10 likes per post,
or every video they have the same amount of views, like
same amount.
Yes, exact same amount. It's like, whoa, that is super suspect. But what's the point of that? Like, what's the point of that? Like, I don't understand. But listen, I don't know. People are weird, bro. Everybody wants to be somebody, but no one wants to put in the work. I got that from Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart had a while ago. And this is like during Kevin Hart's, like, he's barely getting famous. And you know what I mean? Like, it ain't easy being a comedian, like, you know, especially a big one. And Kevin Hart's still funny to this day, bro. Like, he ain't fall off. Like, Kevin Hart's Kevin Hart. But bro, nobody wants to just put the grunt work in. Learn to love the grunt work. Like, learn to go through shit. You got to learn to go through shit to be above shit.
And speaking of comedians, you fuck with Bert Kreischer?
Bert, I mean, no, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like, my comedians are like Chris Farley and fucking Jim Carrey.
He's the one whose shirt's always off with the pot belly, and he's talking about how he fucking was hanging out with the Russian mob.
What's his name again?
Bert Kreischer. You know, the Machine. If you put that in, like, he tells a story about how when he was in college, like, they were in Russia.
How do you spell his last name? How do you spell his last name?
Like Kreischcher or something like that. Yeah. So
okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's on with Tom Segura.
He's actually on a podcast.
Yeah,
All right, cool. Go ahead.
So one of my biggest lessons with him I learned is he said people always ask him, they was like, dude, you'll be at the same venue show after show after show, and you go batshit crazy everything, whether it's your first show or your last show, it's the same energy every time. And what he was talking about too is you don't know who's there watching you for the first time. You might have a person who's never ever heard of you, who like got drugged along with their boyfriend or girlfriend, or husband or wife, or a friend tagged along, and they came to your show, and it's their first time hearing about you, first time dealing with you, first time spending money on you, and that's going to determine whether they ever fuck with you again.
Yep.
You know, so that's like the McDonald's thing. You know, when you work at McDonald's, I worked at McDonald's in high school, where they taught you, when you sell someone a 39-cent hamburger, I'm also showing my age then when hamburgers are 39 cents. So when you sell a 39-cent hamburger, you're not trying to sell a customer on a 39-cent hamburger. You're trying to sell them on a lifetime of being a McDonald's customer. So the quality and everything else needs to be there. Then you just got 2 flat pieces of bread, the shitty patties, salt, pepper, ketchup, mustard, and pickle. You know what I mean? So that's not what you're selling. You're trying to sell them the comeback. That's what you always want them on. So I could be on people's show. And that's why, you know, there's sometimes I've been on different shows where I was sick and I was pissed off at myself and I wanted to go back and do things like that. But in most cases, when you're on a YouTube video, when you're online, you're on someone's live, I also put my best foot forward and have a good fucking time. You know what I mean? And show who I really am. Because there's people on here right now who probably never heard of me ever in my fucking high desert pythons. I hear about them, but I don't really see. So you know what I mean? Let them know who you are. Let them know what you're about, what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate. Man, you know what I mean? And just be genuine. I'm always gonna talk about my failures all the fucking time because I don't want people making the same mistakes, you know, I did. You know what I mean? Hove did that, so apparently you don't have to go through that. You know what I mean? Like
it's also how you stay humble, though. You know what I mean? Yep. You if you remind yourself the shit you've gone through and you're not scared to speak up on it, that's what keeps you in check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
instead of thinking you're above other people and thinking you don't make mistakes. But I mean, you're just lying to yourself if that's the case. But
yeah, learn from that shit, dude. I'm still learning every day, man. Dude, there's people who call me now that just call just to shoot the shit and they make you a better breeder, man. Like Earl from Lone Star, man. He calls me out of the blue and talks to me for like 3-4 hours. And he was like, how do you do this? I'm like, well, this way. He's like, all right, try this. I'm like, motherfucker, you know, like all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like fucking it's stuff that should not work. He'll suggest. And I'm be honest with you, Earl. You sound real stupid right now. Like, as my boy, you know what I mean? I'm like, Earl, you sound real dumb right now, but because I know you've been around this, I'm gonna try it and then I'm gonna videotape it and I'm gonna clown you. And then he's like, well, go right ahead, dumbass, try it and shit. I tried it. Then I'm like, oh shit, it worked, you know.
Fuck, bro. That much.
Like the fucking, you ever heard the vanilla extract thing? You ever heard that?
Well, no, tell me about that.
So this man was on the whole podcast and said the way you get I'm gonna tell you. I told him this man came on there and said if you have problems getting baby snakes to eat, that you get baby snakes to eat is that you fucking put some vanilla extract on the fucking back of this damn thing and the snake can eat it. And I'm like, but vanilla extract has alcohol in it. And alcohol is what you put on snakes to get them not to eat. That makes no sense. You're crazy. As a matter of fact, I watched Billy look at the fucking screen and look at him like, motherfucker, you crazy like that too. And then the shit worked. I'm like, man, you know, I don't know why it worked. It just did, you know? So maybe some shit like that. So you try it and then it works. And now you're scratching your head and you're like, you know, crazy. But that's someone who did the work and did the trial and error and figured it out. Because shit like that, especially when you have a name behind yourself, you shouldn't spew out some like wrong information like that, you know? So that's something that he was confident in saying on a podcast that got everybody watched, you know? So
there you go.
The OGs, man, we need them. I just need them to stop. I just need a lot of these OGs who are not online to stop being so fucking bitter every time on Facebook. This is why I don't like this new generation YouTube people, because they come on here and they think they know everything and they make the videos and then now they're experts. I'm like, that's not everybody, man. That is some people, but not all.
They think they're gonna stop it from growing bigger, and they don't understand that. Like, the more they bitch and understand, the more they're exposing themselves. Yeah. Like, you're showing the true colors. Like, bro, you're just bitter and mad. And you know what's crazy? It's not just like big breeders. It's breeders who never got big, but they wish they got big. You know. Yep. And the thing is, you need one thing nowadays, and you need a fucking legit social media fucking following who fucks with you on a real level. And you don't get that on Facebook. You get that on Instagram, bro. Instagram, and you know, I'm telling you, bro, the genuine following, the people who will really buy a snake from you when it's that time, comes from Instagram nowadays. Facebook, goddamn fucking elephant graveyard. I've been saying this for a long time, bro. And
right. And it's like one of the oldest new social media platforms that a lot of people get to. But to shoot some of those guys some bail is that 15, 20 years ago, everybody who bred snakes didn't look like us.
Right. Nope.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But their face, bro. People back then didn't have to show their face.
Right. But when you go to reptile shows, when you do go to shows and people do, that's their one time to come out though. You know, like I was told a long time ago to go back to breeding pit bulls. This isn't for you. Someone told me that on a forum. You know, they were like, go back to breeding pit bulls. Like, there's no black people breeding snakes and shit like that. Get the fuck out of here. I was like, man, that's crazy. I was like, now you want them to do it more and shove it in your face and do better than you. And now you don't exist anymore. So, you know what I mean? It's shit like that. But most of the people, when I got into breeding snakes, half of them looked like Ton Jones, the other half looked like Kevin McCurley, and that was it. That was the average.
Exactly. That was the picture painted with any
yeah,
kind
that
of
was yeah, that was a picture painted. And then the other side of that too, like if all you did was breed snakes, there's no way you did that well and just breed a snake. So you obviously sold meth and fucking shit like that. You know what I mean?
Or smoked it or both.
Or smoked it or did both and shit like that too. And like so so a lot of people that come from that's still around from the older days who didn't have to show their voice, you know, those people there's some people out there still doing great. You know, I always use the example of Sterling Nelson. You know, he's one of my favorite breeders in ball pythons, right? He lives like an hour away from me. We're Facebook friends. We follow each other on Instagram and shit like that. If you put a fucking gun on my head and said, go over there and point out Sterling Nelson, I'm like, I don't know what you look like.
Jam.
You know, because he's at the point, his snakes are fucking like are so out there. He's so creative with his projects, and he has such good shit that they can all speak for themselves. And that's fine. You can do that, you know? Like, honestly, I wish I was to the point where I didn't have to show this fucking mug on YouTube and I just said, oh, here's this fucking super asphalt hurricane clown. Boom. And they're like, oh shit, man, Antoine is legit as hell. But, you know, when you pay your dues and you stay constant that whole time, a lot of these guys spent years doing this and building their animals and building their brand up with no hiccups as far as like breaks and stuff too. And now they have the fruits of their labor to show, and you can trust them with their product. You know, a year ago, I couldn't sell a fucking hurricane clown to nobody for fucking $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever they were running.
Right.
They're like, who the hell is this guy? So now I'm just making shit for nothing. And that's the advantage of getting yourself out there and getting on social media and showing your brand and making yourself a trusted brand, you know?
Antoine, at the end of the day, what's still the most genuine thing you could get in this industry? Trust.
Trust, man.
Trust and support. Real trust.
Trust.
I'm talking about real trust and support. None of this follow shit. I'm talking about, like you said, a phone call away. I could hit you up. We can talk for an hour or more and just chop shit up. I want you to win. You want me to win, right? There's a lot of that. That old generation wasn't like that. They weren't. It was about whatever information you knew was hoarded. You didn't share it. And that was it. It was different back then. Okay.
Yep.
There was no platforms to learn. It was like, oh, well, I know this guy, very political, right? And the thing is, these motherfuckers who are being outgrown are still with the political mindset. They have a mindset where they're like, well, you know, I could bash on this motherfucker anytime he fucks up. Like any kind of fuck up, I could bash him. But hey, if JKR fucks up, right?
Who gonna check me, boo?
Who's gonna check JKR? You fake motherfuckers. Who's gonna check? You guys are gonna be like, oh no, it's a JKR. He's okay. He's okay by me. Hey, here's another example, bro. Here's another example. I don't want to keep bringing the sorcery thing up because it's past, but the fucking owner and runner of Morph Market, okay? He fucking basically told all that cancel culture little clowns to shut the fuck up. Like, that's your guys' problem. Like, at the end of the day, don't buy from him. That's what he said, right? Was there any drama in that thread? Did anybody come at him at all? No. Silent, bro. That right there was that was eye-opening to me, bro. And, you know, at the end of the day, those motherfuckers, they're going to get old. They're not going to be here forever. The new wave and the new way before that, and the new way before that is coming. And they're coming to this channel. And that's the fucking win. That's the goal, bro. I got nothing but new wave support coming to this channel. And it's over, bro. We're going to take over. That's it. That's all I got to say on top of that.
And it's nothing. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool to voice your opinion on stuff and how you feel about things like that. But from a business standpoint, you got to realize before you post something, right? You need to think about, okay, me making this post, what's the I'm real cognizant of that. I'm like, what's the very worst that could happen? You know, because like we know why, but I guarantee it's a lot easier to cancel me than a lot of other fucking people if I decide to come out of my mouth and say some wild shit. You know, people will go, well, throw the cards up. Fuck Antoine, he can go to hell.
Like we're a goddamn fucking Looney Tune fucking character, bro.
Right.
Like
exactly. So you know, like
go ahead.
Yeah, I was like. But you got to think about it too. Like if you have an opinion about stuff, whatever like that, what's going on in the world as far as politics go, but don't start posting shit that's shitting on like a particular group of people where they live at and things is happening with people's shortcomings. Like no one wants to hear your opinion about anybody's shortcomings, whether it's the shit that happened in Texas, whether it's like the real like political shit and things like that too. Like if it's not conducive to you selling a snake or people getting on you or you being on the platform or you making a hobby grow, and you're using your page for that stuff, keep that shit out of the fucking post. Like it makes no sense at all. You know, like people send me like tag me in like the fucking royal family shit with their fucking reptile page. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Meghan and Harry and shit. And as far as I'm concerned, like I don't need to know. I'm not fucking, you know what I mean? I'm not begging Meghan, or I'm not in fucking England. So like you can post that on like your personal Facebook page. I don't have shit to do, you know. So Billy's never been at the bar. Yeah, he's been in his game. That's a leader. Yeah.
I respect Billy because one thing, you know, first reason why I respect Billy is because Billy at one point had some bullshit that came his way, but just for him, just for Billy being Billy, right? And Billy did not change. He didn't switch anything up on his content. He's still Billy. He's still fucking, I don't care. He'll go as big scissors as he wants and we'll do it. Yep. And I respect Billy so much for that. But then beyond that, if you look at why Billy's so passionate, is his years of work, his years of evolving, bro. Fuck, Billy had us. If you go to me and Billy's episode Trap Talk last year, he fucking told me how many times he got misled. Dude, he got put on the ringer, you know, and now he has a Patreon page, and Billy's another guy like Miguel. I will say right now, the Canadian leader in the industry right now, other than Marcus Jane, is fucking Billy for sure.
For real.
Because he just puts people on, he gives them the time of day, he doesn't act better than them, and he does. But if you go there with them, he'll give you the Billy. You know what I mean? So,
dude, if I was never on Billy's Patreon, I would have never watched the live we did with Ozzy a couple weeks ago, and I would have never bought that fucking audio book, the Billionaire's Guide to a Tax-Free Wealth. And if I would have never been on there and paying that little bit of money a month was Patreon, I would have never heard of that shit, and I wouldn't have fucking saved fucking tens of thousands of dollars on my fucking taxes because I follow Ozzy's advice and hired a cool CPA, you know what I mean, and went through the book and picked out a lot of deductions I didn't even know you could do, and cross-referencing like, you know, the IRS and shit like that. And like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Do this, do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be pissed off right now, fucking probably in the hole and paying taxes. It wasn't shit like that. So even that little small investment that's also fucking a tax write-off going on people's Patreon is something that, you know, that's going to hold on to me for the rest of my life and shit too. And then, you know, just getting to know Billy. Like, Billy don't have to fucking call me. He'll call me out the blue just to shoot the shit with me. Yeah. Who the fuck am I? How busy, you know, there's no way with that many animals that if I had the same amount of animals that Billy has, dude, I would have to be the secretary.
I remember Billy hit me up and I was like, damn, he's calling me.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
And he wanted to, you know, because he knew I was going to keep it real with him about the situation we were talking about. And bro, it was surreal because I didn't think I thought, you know, Miguel was really the only guy I felt like who would just hit me up. And then now I have a guy like fucking, you know, Billy hit me up, and it was just like, whoa, this fucking like, that's sick. And then, you know, that's when I knew me and Billy had so much in common. You know, we all, you know, we wear our heart on our sleeves, but don't fuck with that, you know, like don't use that. Don't make us use that too much, you know? And, but yeah, anyways, man, I don't want to keep giving Billy reach around.
Yeah. Just concerning me, like a lot of people that, you know, don't know me personally or never watch any of my content or never interact with me at all. A lot of people will talk to somebody I do know and they'll hit up like Lone Star and go, hey man, what's up that Antoine guy? He keeps popping up everywhere. Fucking, then he go, well, have you watched any of his content? Well, no, we'll go watch his content then. And maybe you'll get to know him. You know what I mean? Or it was just like, well, and then somebody goes, you know, well, hey, yo, Antoine, I know the dude from High Desert. Like, he seems kind of intimidating and shit like that. He looks like he always wants to fight people. I'm like, dude, have you seen my goofy ass on fucking line? That's the last thing I want to do is fucking get into fights with people. Or, you know, hey, what's up with Antoine? I heard he doesn't deal with black reptile breeders and shit. He just curbs them and shit like that. I'm like, are you high? You know, like this crazy shit like that. You know, Jay-Z that, Jay-Z this, Easy Blood, Easy Crip, Easy that, Easy this. You know, so if you don't know who I am, you know, and you on this podcast, it's your first time watching me, man. I'm telling you, just fucking, I don't want to say Google me, bitch, but you know, fucking, you know, fucking there's
people got a good idea. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. I don't want to, because you're obviously going to be fucking asked to go on podcasts, and I hope more than 15 minutes next time. But you're going to be asked to go on podcasts, and people are going to learn a lot. I told motherfuckers in the post that we are going to learn a lot from this motherfucker, and I was on point with that, man. And you know, we ain't going to get enough in. You know, I mean, I could go 3 hours today, but you know, that's it. But we got to do round 2 at some point. 100.
Of course, man. Of course. Shit, when when you come pick up this rack, man, we could probably do a live then too, whatever, you know. That'd be dope.
We'll make it happen. Hey, you know what I think I'm gonna do too, bro? Because you know me in building, I just don't do it. So I think I'm gonna get a U-Haul and just fucking put that thing built. Just roll that shit in there and strap it. You think that's feasible, right?
No, because the way my hallway set up, you got to take this bitch apart. So we can take it apart. We can take it apart and restack it and put it in the U-Haul. Yeah, that'll work too.
Okay,
yeah, so that can work.
Yeah,
but when you get here, it'll be labeled and taken apart. So and it'll be sitting in the driveway waiting for you, and then we can just stack it like that before we put it in there. Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to that, man. Because like I said, bro, I've been long overdue for some nice enclosures, and I was just gonna hold off and just wait till I get Freedom Breeder stuff. But that is a long-term goal for me with the Freedom Breeder shit. So I can at least get something nice now, and I'm gonna do it, man. But man, this is a great episode. Now listen, I got a wrap-up question though. Okay. Before we get to the hot seat questions, since this is your second wave at keeping the snakes and stuff like that, and obviously, man, you got your eyes out there, bro. Like you got your hands in Facebook and you got your hands in Instagram pretty good. But where do you see this going? Like honestly, where do you see the whole hobby, the industry, the way it's growing? Where do you see the longevity of this in your eyes?
This is the most money I've seen floating around in the hobby since, you know, as the years go on, you know, and, you know, with the way social media is and the resources we have right now, a lot of people aren't left in the dark with being better breeders. Because the first time around, it was people keeping everything a secret. There was no transparency in morphs and things like that too. So the difference between then and now is that most of the things now, 99% of the stuff is out and open, and people are so easy to get a hold of. People message me 2:00 in the morning because they're in different time zones as I am. They ask me stupid ass questions that if I'm up and see, I answer. It's like the dumbest shit. But for some people, they have nowhere else to go. If you go online to a forum and ask the same question, you probably get kicked out of the group. But you can hit me up and they're like, hey, but what's this and what's that? And then I'll message you and shit too. And those are the people who come back and pay and buy shit from you later. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so right now where I'm not too flooded with everything, I still have the time and the means to do things like that. But the resources are there right now, and that's what makes it so much better, you know. And now when you fuck up, you're held more accountable. Because 10 years ago, you can get a fucking expensive mail from Joe Schmuckatelli, who don't know who that is, and you might get a mail with no hemipenes. Because back in the day, people were removing the hemipenes from like babies and selling them as mail.
Wow, why would they do that?
So you can't reproduce the project.
Damn, that's savage, bro.
You know, like back then when all the money were in single gene codon males and before people started going to the pie stuff, you know, like when the banana was around and the GHI was around, there's reports of people going, man, I got this 2-year-old male and like I'll pop them. He's popping like a female almost.
Wow.
You know, so people would like go in and then they take it to the vet and like, oh man, he got damaged peens or whatever like that. And then they'll like stitch it or cauterize it or whatever they were doing to this animal. And paying that vet bill was still enough for them to sell this thing for tens of thousands of dollars. And now they're holding on to the project and still building the project up because there's no competition.
Hey, bro, like, come on, bro. That's dirt.
It's fucking dirty, man.
That's dirt nasty in the fucking late 90s, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah,
let's just go.
It's so,
but anyway,
that's
why. Go ahead.
That's it. No, that was you. Just like it blocked up for a bit.
Fuck, my man. Well, listen, this has been great. Like I said, I don't want to keep your day going. I know you want to go shoot some fucking guns, and I got a shit ton of snakes towards it. Right at the hot seat questions. You ready for these hot seat questions or what?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, hot seat questions for my man Antoine Hood. Probably one of the most hood podcasts I've ever done. You know, just real, real recognized real, man. But we're going to finish this off proper with these hot seat questions. Don't need an explanation. Just shoot them out. You ready? Hot seat questions for my man Antoine. Frozen thought or live?
Live.
A cut or no cut?
Cut.
Big flexor or no flexor?
Big flex.
Ping pong or foosball?
Ping pong.
Respect. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Paul Abdul or Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
Respect. That's what I'm talking about right there. Beyonce or Aaliyah?
Aaliyah.
Woo! That's why he's on fire. Fire. Eminem or Machine Gun Kelly?
Eminem.
All right, word. 50 Cent or Game?
50.
Fuck, you're just killing it. West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
East Coast rap. Sorry, bro.
Right,
is that ad trying to take 50 cents? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you feel me, man? All right. Little word association. First thing to come to mind: milk.
Titties.
First time breeder.
Ask questions.
Blocks. All right. Stuck shed.
Humidity.
Instagram trolls.
Fuck them.
One platform has to go forever, and I mean forever, ever. Instagram or Facebook.
Facebook could eat a dick.
Reels. See you later. All right, man. Listen, dog, you've had mad support, man. I'm telling you, we had consistent 80 people here, and I respect everyone kicking it, for the most part for 3 hours. But bro, we had people here to support. You see the likes, this is real, no faking it. But what do you got to say to all your supporters out there, man? Everyone in the comments.
So it's a couple of days under a year since I started YouTube, man, and the amount of support doing that, man, is just crazy. I never thought that it would take 3 months to get monetized. And just, just all the lives I've been on and just so many people interacting. Like, I can't wait till the world goes back to normal so we go all kick it in real life. Like, I want to have a shot. I want to have a shot with all 4,000 people on my fucking Instagram. I mean, I'm going to die, but, whatever. It's worth it. You know what I mean? So, a martyr for the homies. But, yeah, so I'm going to go out to a lot of Reptile shows, man. I appreciate all your support. And just, man, I'm going to keep putting out stuff, and I'm going to keep producing some fire animals, man, for years to come. And I'm not going anywhere. So if you love that I'm here, cool, man. We gonna party. If you hate me, go fuck yourself because I'm here.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Keep it moving.
I bet you won't say it to my face.
Man, no. You enjoy your day. I'll be hollering at you soon, Doug.
Hey, you too, brother. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks everybody in the comments, man. Love you all. Deuces.
Blessings, bro. See you. Damn, Antoine Hood, fire, man. 3 hours in the books. It's my man right there. Hate to burst your bubble, but probably one of the hardest podcasts that you'll see of my man Antoine until there's round 2. Because I want to bring him back on, man. And my boy is just, I don't know, genuine, real as fuck. And he has a huge future ahead of him, man. He has crazy projects, as you guys heard. So, yeah, man. Hobby needs more people like Antoine. I'll tell you that right now. And thank you to all the support, man. Everyone tapped in. You guys are awesome. It means a lot to me. I know everyone typically has a lot of things to go on Saturdays and they got things they want to enjoy and do, and you're here. So that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Billy, way to steal that celebrity appearance award. Nothing, no offense to Granddaddy Herps, but Billy fucking came, swoop that shit, man. Shout out to the homie Billy. And yeah, thanks again, Antoine. I appreciate you, bro. Big homie shit right there. And then yeah, man, I hope you guys are ready for this coming next Trap Talk Thursday, man. Is going to be sick. All right, we've been on a crazy ball python rant, but I know there's a bunch of boreal fans out there. I know people out there like basins, they like emerald tree boas like I do, and we are gonna have one of the most respectable, legitimate. Like, I look up to this guy so much, man, but he's about to be emerald tree boa breeder on this show this coming Thursday. So make sure you are on point when it comes to my stories on Tuesdays. I typically give teasers and then I drop who I'm having on Tuesdays right after Trap Clip Tuesdays. So follow me on Instagram, man, CUSSING, and then make sure you go follow the podcast page as well. So right down there, follow that shit, okay? And then yeah, man, you'll be on top of everything. So if you like what you saw today, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, dislike, leave a comment, man. Let our boy Antoine know how you liked it. And I want to know as well too, man. But thank you for all the support out there. Get ready for tomorrow, Patreon page. Yep, Trap Talk Zoom session going down. If you want to fucking be a part of that and be like, yo, what's this Trap University all about? Why are motherfuckers all stoked to be a part of it? Well, go to the link below, click that motherfucker, and then join the Patreon Trap family, man. And then make sure you tap in tomorrow, 6 o'clock. No, I'm gonna do 4 o'clock. Well, relax. I'll tell you what time. Join the Patreon page, and tomorrow afternoon is when I drop the information. So anyways, you guys enjoy your weekend. Much love. Respect everybody. Love each other. And you guys are amazing, man. Love you.